All right, guys, welcome back to the Sayin Society. You got myself, Justman, and Jagad. Chacha couldn't be here. I don't know. I feel like he just didn't want to be here. Like, he kind of got scared. Last week, he's kind of talking a little bit of shit while you
about
weren't
me.
there.
Yeah, I heard you guys.
I didn't say nothing, bro.
I
What
heard
you mean?
guys? That's crazy.
He called you a Drake fan.
Yeah. What the
he said Drake's your number one,
nah,
bro.
That's crazy.
That's what.
The way he was like side eyeing the camera, low key too. He's like, yo, like this motherfucker.
Nah, bro. Reclaim yourself, bro. You got violated. Are you a
Nah,
number one Drake fan?
Don't speak no lies about me. I won't speak no truth about you. Anyways.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of things.
I haven't been here
We
for
gotta,
a minute.
yeah, you haven't been here for a minute, so you might have some thoughts of previous stuff. But we have 2 chapters of JJK for sure. A One Piece chapter.
2 chapters?
Because we didn't talk
shit.
about last week, right?
All right. Got the One Piece chapter. I do want to talk about Kagurabachi for a bit.
Yeah.
And then Vinland Saga just dropped as well.
Let me touch
and
slightly on My Hero.
Don't.
Because they finally finished the fight.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, we'll start with One Piece first.
You tap
then.
back in, huh?
No, I just wanted to see.
You've been alone with Jochik a little bit too much.
No, it's like, yeah, no. No, I just honestly wanted to see what was going on, and like it just so happens that the chapter that I clicked on was the one where it like finished.
Okay.
So,
Okay, cool. One Piece. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I still don't. I hate the way that Egghead's kind of going in at certain times. Like
Why?
It really just feels like the tension's not there.
why do you say that?
Like, okay, like we have like the Gorosei all there, but it feels like we got Luffy running away from that boar Gorosei for like the past like 5 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we haven't had anyone actually like, besides Vegapunk dying, like we haven't had anyone else like actually feel that type of like tension. And I think like you guys talked about it last chapter, how like you're like Luffy, we don't want him laughing all the time. And obviously like he's not really in like the center like focus of these chapters, like for the past couple ones.
Yeah.
But it just feels like they're like it doesn't feel like they're all moving with like that same level of like haste or anything, because it's taking so long. Like even I feel like even with Vegapunk's message that he's sending, it feels redundant. Like it feels like he's said things like he's like beating around the bush, you know what I mean? Like the way he's wording things, like if you go to like the first chapter where Vegapunk first started his broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
to even like the newest chapter,
Yeah.
he's kind of just like bringing up he's saying the same words and like the same things. Like he's still bringing us further in, but it's like it feels like he's like Oda's purposely just trying to extend it for like a cliffhanger type of thing as much as he can.
Yeah.
Which I'm like why are we getting the same message over and over again?
I feel like this week it was fine. Like I didn't feel like there was no
this week like we had the whole like this is probably the first chapter actually like layered with like full like Vegapunk actually talking, right?
Yeah.
But I was noticing there were bubbles in there that he was just like, so this is why I was saying like from earlier, like this is like because an event
like why the water is rising.
Like an event happened 2 days ago, but then last chapter he was like, if the time of this recording is happening, that means an event already happened. Like, you know, like he's already like talked about the event. Now he's talking about the event again, so it's like you don't have to like keep bringing it up, right?
Yeah, maybe. I feel like it kind of. Maybe I don't know. I feel like because of the point is like, you know, the ancient world already sunk once before.
Yeah.
Then like you're kind of tying it back into what's happening now, and you're letting everybody know like your big statement was like, "Yo, the world is about to sink." You know.
I guess so. It's just the way that it's been like coming off. Like since he started it, because he's already like, oh, you have 10 minutes, let me make my coffee and shit.
Yeah.
Like the way it already started off was like, bro, like Oda knows we want the information, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna just I'm gonna like go as long as I can before giving you that info.
Yeah.
And then just to have it like kind of like him, like when you can tell that he's doing that on purpose, it's kind of just like, fuck, man, like.
Yeah, I mean we got some nice stuff in this chapter though. Like we got the Joy
really
Boy,
stuff,
like
actually.
it was a silhouette, but like they finally on screen Joy Boy
And a few other like crew members,
Yeah.
essentially. there was that theory about
Essentially, he does look like Luffy Gear 5.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there was that theory of how the Gorosei actually used to be part of Joy Boy's crew.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's
So
true.
this is the way, because you know how like the last chapter was called Icarus.
Yeah.
So and like Icarus flew too close to the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you can take that meaning in like so many different ways. And I thought it was just like related to just Vegapunk, because Vegapunk had that he had that like moral compass or whatever to be like, oh, like I flew too close to the sun, and actually like reevaluate like what he's done.
Yeah. But
I was thinking like Icarus flew too close to the sun got Nika, and then you have the planets orbiting the sun. And that's kind of been like a pretty popular theory of like the planets orbiting the sun.
yeah.
So I was thinking like, what if they like defected from Joy Boy, or I guess Nika, depending on how far back the Gorosei really go. But if they were the ones that fought Joy Boy,
Do you think it's a thing, like, you know how like the robot said sorry, what's his name, the elephant,
yeah, Zunisha.
Janisha, he said sorry was because his crew essentially betrayed him, but maybe those two didn't, which is why the
Yeah,
robot's kind of like just
could be.
not functioning while
yeah.
Zunisha's like left to roam the sea.
'Cause I think like I think it, like it's the way Vegapunk also said this chapter, where he was like there was a difference in ideals. So it could have been like if he was the first pirate crew, like it's kind of like what is a captain without his like crew's faith, right? And we've seen how like Luffy's crew like always believes in him. So then and we know how like Rock's pirates or like whatever, like other crews aren't really the same way. It's like everyone for themselves. Like same with Blackbeard's.
Blackbeard's, yeah.
Right. So then with Joy Boys, it could have been like, he felt one way, and then it's kind of like you know how like the Gorosei live in fear now, like all their decisions are based out of fear and stuff.
Yeah.
What if like whatever, like I guess like whatever the information was, like let's say like the sea level rising,
Yeah.
Joy Boy had his own answer to it, and like he's like a totally different type of pirate, whatever. And then the Gorosei like saw that same information, but the way they felt about it was like they started living out of fear now because of that. Like nobody, like they, like basically like Joy Boy's crew didn't have that same like courage to like be truthful and like stick to it. And then they're like, yeah, fuck this, like we're changing.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have to be written pretty well.
Yeah.
But like I do kind of see it, because you kind of have to go down to like what can actually beat like a Sun God Nika type of figure.
Yeah.
Especially when we see Gear 5 Luffy and he's just like reality warping bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So like, how do you actually beat that? Then it's like, okay, well, you try to make the crew defect on this person and like backstab him, right?
Yeah.
Essentially what happened to like Whitebeard.
Yeah.
We're like,
With like Blackbeard
no.
and like a squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like, I mean, it's an interesting theory, especially with like the Icarus thing, because like not everyone will see the same thing. Like not everyone will react the same way with the same information. So like that'd be like a really cool way to like paint it.
I feel like another way you could look at the sun though is you could maybe even take it a little bit more literally, rather than a more Sun God Nika is the sun, and like that's what they mean by like flying too close to it, but rather Joy Boy was the one that flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. That was the other thing, is like if like Joy Boy, but then it's like I wonder who or how like Joy Boy really like conducts himself.
Yeah.
Like what type of person he really was, right?
Yeah.
Because like if he flew too close to the sun, is that like that's why he has like the poneglyphs, right? And he says like sorry to Fishman Island and whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he realized like that exact thing.
I do think that like knowing that Joy Boy was the like complete opposite to the ideology.
Yeah.
I do think that at least narratively, you know how we always kind of talk about this, like who's actually like the final villain for One Piece.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the way that the narrative just changed right now, it kind of should be Imu-sama versus Luffy.
Yeah. Because we were talking about how the ending would go, whether it'd be like dealing with Imu first and then Blackbeard after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because the way that the whole narrative of like these ideologies, like Imu-sama, like controlling everything, and like you have to destroy that for the world to like actually be free again, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I also feel like it'd be like kind of lackluster if you deal with Imu first now, knowing that it goes back like 800 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you do Blackbeard, who's like, I mean, Blackbeard's doing his thing, but like you got 800 years versus like 40 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, so
Yeah, like I guess like the only thing, like what Luffy's like only like real reason to fight Blackbeard would be, for one, the One Piece, of course.
yeah,
Two, obviously what happened with like Ace. But like, I also was thinking maybe the ideology difference is also happening between those two as well.
yeah.
Because they had that moment when they were talking about
Blackbeard and Luffy.
when they first met. Yeah,
Yeah. And
They
they
had
were
that
on, they were
moment.
on the same train of thought.
but they kind of had slightly different ideologies,
Yeah,
right? Like you could see it very clearly. So like, it's like this weird thing is like, which one takes the like cake? And like
Yeah.
right now with the way that the narrative is flowing, Imusama just took it.
yeah, that's true. What is it? He talked about like the 200-meter change in sea level.
Yeah,
So I was talking about how like, man, I wish I was here for last pod, but like, we just spitballing. I was talking, and you know how like we thought it was astronaut suits, and I told Josh, and he was like,
yeah.
it's more so for the ocean and stuff.
Ocean, yeah.
Like I was saying, like, what if the dawn already happened before,
Mm-hmm.
and their answer might have been to escape to the moon, like escape to space, because I remember that was like a very popular theory.
Yeah,
And like I don't mind them like escaping to, like that was their answer the first time, was to escape, like leave the planet, and
yeah.
then they came back, and then like the sea levels like rose and everything, and now they're like, okay, let's take the highest point so that we don't get fucked again.
But that's the celestial dragons, right?
Yeah, like, well, just like, well, if they were like the original like clan and stuff,
Yeah,
depending on how far back
the original would be the kings, right?
yeah, like depending on like how far back that first cleansing or dawn event happened,
Right.
then yeah, that could have been the answer. Because like I don't think, like, whenever that war happened and the sea levels rose, like I don't think that was in anyone's power to make the sea levels rise. I think like that was obviously like a repercussion of what happened. So like I don't think like any of these guys would be like well equipped to like be like, like when like they wouldn't be like, like we did this and like we knew that the sea levels were gonna rise by 200.
Yeah, maybe
what I
not
mean?
like accurately, but like I do feel like, because Vegapunk says that the reason that
Their technology was more advanced.
was because of technology, and it was the
Yeah.
ancient weapons.
Yeah, but I think like because the way the Lucia Kingdom got destroyed and the sea levels rose by like 1 meter,
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Like if they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
use their ancient weapon, and if they're having like an all-out war, assuming
just
it's,
said, "Fuck it,
assuming
dude."
it's a
Yeah.
war, and they're just kind of going back and forth with like ancient weapons getting shot after another, you're kind of, then it's like,
So
that's probably how it started.
yeah, so do you think a lot of it was more reactionary versus planned?
Yeah,
At
I
least
think
back
so.
then.
For the sea level
Like now
thing,
it's probably more
Yeah.
planned, but like back then it was more
yeah,
reactionary.
for the sea level thing for sure,
Yeah.
because I think that's what made them like relocate and like, you know, kill the Lunarians and like whatever. Like I think that all came from the initial like meter rise.
Do you think Joy Boy survived the initial rise, the 200 meters? Or do you think that like the initial rise is what kind of wiped him out?
I feel like he died trying to get people to survive.
Now, the other question is, we know the Noah exists.
Yeah.
Was
Like
that Joy
Pluton.
Boys?
Huh?
Well, the Pluton or whatever. But like the big ass ship.
Yeah.
You know which
yeah.
one I'm talking about?
You're talking about the one that Frankie, or that's Uranus, the one that Frankie destroyed the blueprints to.
No.
You're talking about the one in the sky?
Yeah.
The one that Emu used? Or like,
Do we know that that's the one they use? One
You
sec.
you talking about the one that Anel used? Like the
No,
Maximus
one
thing,
sec.
whatever it's called?
Like the Noah's Ark, essentially.
No, but what do they
What's
call
that?
it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I
You're,
thought it was the
you're
Noah's.
talking about actual Noah's Ark, like in Fishman Island. Like the one that is coming crashing down into Fishman Island. The one that Luffy fucking like just beats the shit out of in like Gear 3
I
or
think
something.
so, yeah.
You're talking about that one? Like it's like,
Yeah. One sec, I'm Googling it.
because that one had like chains and stuff that would get pulled. Like Noah's Ark would get pulled by like sea beasts.
Yeah, that's
That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it was literally just called Noah.
Yeah.
Like NOA.
Yeah.
So, do you think that was Joy Boy's ship? Because then it would be
very
kind
much
of like
could- yeah, very much could
kind of touching into like biblical
be.
stuff,
I
right?
think it
Like,
could be. And to really go into it with the Gorosei theory of them being with Joy Boy,
yeah,
they have the voice of all things. They were literally like, yo, if a thing has a voice, like you guys can like make sure you guys like, you know, basically conquer Saki and just fuck them up and shit, whatever.
I
Like
see,
anything
yeah.
that like has a voice, like kill it, erase it. And they're saying that last chapter.
Yeah.
So then like it's kind of weird that the Gorosei have the voice of all things, given like the way they like they're so different from the way other people that have the voice of all things are.
Yeah.
Like Roger and Momo, totally different. And even that girl from Skypea,
Yeah.
the little girl, I forgot her name. But if they were on Joy Boy's thing, like they're all using the voice to talk to the CBs to have them pull the Noah, right?
Yeah.
Like it could all work with just Joy Boy having it, but like it's weird to see them have the voice of all things.
Right. But yeah, no, I think that does like
And the other
tie into everything.
I think you guys didn't really talk about this, but there's a theory about Sabo.
Okay.
Okay, let me talk. Basically saying how like so last chapter, Saturn was in his spider form, and then he sees the mother flame, and when he sees it, like the way his reaction is, he's kind of like he's like scared. Like he's like the mother flame, you know what I mean?
Cut the
And-
front door. If you're about to say what I think you're about to say,
Listen.
I'm about to get up and walk away.
No, you're not. Listen. So basically, like when you see the next panel after he's like scared, because when he's scared, he's still in his like that like demon form thing, like that spider form,
Uh-huh.
and then he switches into his human form. So you're kind of like, why did he switch into his human form, and why is he scared of the mother flame, right? So do the Gorosei have a weakness to the
To
mother
fire?
flame and to fire? Because when you talk about like Nika now, like Joy Boy, and Luffy, like the fruit,
Yeah.
Luffy does his Red Hawk, and he has like the flames, and like we still haven't seen Luffy kind of pull out flames like in other ways, but are his flames like a natural deterrent to the Gorosei? And this might be why they hate Nika so much.
Why? Because Nico's just running around with flames everywhere.
Well, like if that's like their natural enemy, in more ways than just like one, like either like ideologically and also like
So is that
prowess.
is that why Ace was the chosen one?
That's what I'm saying. So like with Ace having fire,
Yeah.
like what that like had he taken that to that like level of endgame and not actually like you know what I
Rather
mean?
than like ego.
Yeah. And he would have survived. Like he probably could have murked them out too, right?
Hmm.
And it would explain why Sabo was able to actually get away from the Gorosei.
Yeah, maybe.
Like if he's using his flames to boost out of there, and the flames are like the one thing that are stopping them.
That'd be a fucking crazy ass like nerf though.
It would be a crazy nerf, but it's like, dude, they're so OP.
Yeah.
And like
But I
to
feel
be
like
honest,
if-
like every like in One Piece in general, like any devil fruit has its counterpart that's like gonna be like the perfect matchup against that devil fruit.
But
Like kind of how Luffy was against the Nell. Luffy was like the perfect like
But okay, well, one thing, do we know that they are for sure devil fruits?
like as far as like for the Gorosei?
Yeah.
No, like their translation never said fruit. It just said
yeah.
like they were that thing.
But okay, so like my next thing would be like, wouldn't Luffy be the opposer to them? Like in the sense of like he's their like match.
Yeah.
The other like
But
again
like a true match, because like Sabo would be like a pseudo match. Like you know how you know how Katakuri can do his mochi thing, and it's kind of like giving that rubber like thing, and it's like so similar to Luffy's.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where like Sabo has fire, so he like because Luffy has reality warping and he has fire,
Yeah.
he stands a better chance, right? Whereas Sabo just has the fire, so he stood a good chance in terms of running away because the fire is helping keep them at bay.
I think the issue with like seeing that they're so OP, like nobody's able to like completely just like tap them out. Like
Yeah.
you hit them, oh they keep coming back. You hit them
Yeah.
again, they keep coming back. I think the issue is honestly just like Luffy's growth in Gear 5
Yeah.
was really not there. He how long has it been? He's been in since he's tapped into Gear 5 the first time. Not that long.
Yeah.
It's been pretty fucking fast paced.
Yeah.
I feel like if given more time, I feel like he would be like that perfect match. Like
So what if he gets like Amaterasu? Because I think Amaterasu is also like a sun god or something with that.
what Luffy gets at?
Yeah. Because like, or what if like, because like the mother flame could be that. Like if the mother flame is like this eternal flame that
Mm.
never goes out.
Yeah.
Now if you're using that on somebody who like doesn't really have crazy durability, but their regen is crazy,
Yeah.
they won't be able to regen faster than the flames screwing with them. So if that's where it like it starts from, that makes sense. Like if that's the reason why the Gorosei are scared, is because it's a never like ending flame.
But okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but last chapter wasn't it stated that the mother flame type of energy was around them always?
Did they say that?
I swear they said something
The
like
energy
that.
was just around.
around them. That's like I can double check, but like that's what I thought was said.
I don't remember that.
So then like that's what I was like talking about. I think last podcast where I was saying like what did they do? Did they just like how'd they like an infinite energy source? How did they
How do they get rid of it?
Yeah, they get rid
How
of
did
it
they
if
get
it
rid
was
of it?
around them at like all times. But I will double check.
But that could have been like a state of the world type of thing. Like you know how like the 200-meter rise happened?
Yeah.
That could have just distinguished the flame.
Oh.
Because a flame's not gonna keep like if you put it underneath the water, like it's not gonna.
There's no oxygen or something.
Yeah.
But if it's like an infinite flame, then like wouldn't you also say that like?
Because that's kind of like.
Well, okay. Well, here's a theory. What if in the ancient kingdoms that are drowned, the flame's actually still there? It's just too far down to go get.
To go get it.
I don't know.
That could work.
Random thought.
Yeah, like it's too far. It's on because it's on the sea floor.
Yeah.
So it could be too far down for like any human to actually like physically survive.
Yeah, like the pressure, everything.
Yeah. That makes sense too, like for sure. But it's kind of like the way Naruto did Amaterasu. Like even though it's like the flames never go out, there've been instances where like clearly the flames go out. Like you know what I mean? So it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like in terms as far as anime is concerned, right? Like it's
Nah, bro, don't do that.
I did like about the chapter though. They showed Foxy.
Showed a lot of people.
Yeah, but Foxy and Tomorrow Black.
Yeah.
Like the fake straw hats.
The fakes, yeah.
And now they're fake kid pirates. Yo, kids got stand, bro.
Bro, you know what this means? I saw a tweet, bro. This means that Kid's crew's coming back.
Kid's coming back for sure. Never lost faith in Kid. Like, he's coming back. Maybe I don't know about his crew, but he's coming back.
Motherfucker's just chilling on Elba, tapped out.
But Nasjuro, he slices the cloud in half.
Yeah.
They said like he can cut through anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we've seen a feat like that big.
Zoro.
Besides like no.
No, I'm just like I'm saying that he hasn't done it.
So
like,
Zoro's lacking.
As a swordsman, like what is he doing if he can't?
I think like maybe Mihawk, like there was that like during Marineford where
the mountain or whatever.
Well,
the iceberg.
The iceberg that Luffy guys were on. Like I don't know how big that actually was, but it looked
pretty massive.
It looked pretty big. But that's like he's cutting through ice. And then Nasjuro like he cut through all the tech and stuff with the cloud, but like just that range. That's what I'm impressed by, like how big that range was. Because that's almost like the way Law cut the mountain on Punk Hazard.
Yeah. You know what I hate about this shit? These motherfuckers walk around with swords, but like Mihawk is supposedly the strongest swordsman.
Oh yeah.
But like he's doing shit like this.
Yeah.
It's so hard to like which one's the real one? Like who gave Mihawk the name and why does he claim it?
I think it's very real that Nasjuro could be stronger than Mihawk.
Oh, I think for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
But Nasjuro also has like a devil, or he's the devil, like he has other powers to use.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to being the greatest swordsman, they're talking about just pure swordsmanship. And if anyone fights without just pure swords, they no longer consider themselves as swordsmen.
So then what's his name? Fucking potentially Shanks' father. What's that dude's name?
Oh yeah, Figureland?
Yeah.
Garland?
Yeah, Garland.
Yeah.
Again, he walks around with a sword, like.
Yeah.
I feel like again, it's like unless he has a devil fruit, like wouldn't then he also be considered the strongest swordsman?
Depends.
It's so weird, bro.
But we don't know enough about him yet.
No, we don't. Yeah.
What else happened in the chapter? I think a lot of it was just Vegapunk's news
talking.
Thing
yeah.
With but it could like we'll see. I hope Oda doesn't do this, but if he does like a twist where like, because you know everyone knows that Joy Boy's kind of like the good side, and the world government's like the bad side.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like. Is he gonna try to throw some like Hail Marys and shit in there
to make Joy Boy seem bad?
Yeah, like not like the perfect person.
No,
maybe a gray area. Maybe like a gray area of like at the time the Gorosei's decision was like it was warranted. You know.
Yeah.
Like you could see it both ways.
Maybe.
Because I feel like Oda does this thing with his villains where his villains are somewhat justified. Like you can see where they're coming from. You know, like the way Doflamingo started out with like the circumstances created the villain.
Yeah. Maybe. I feel like maybe he shouldn't but like that also
I don't
comes
think you
down.
should too, but it's like I know like writers or mangaka, they have that issue of as they head towards the final stage of their
Yeah.
manga, I don't know if it's to retain viewership or what, but they start to kind of go all over the place with the
Yeah.
writing, like a little bit, like depending on the manga, like really
Yeah.
yeah. But we know Naruto, like it happened with Naruto.
Yeah.
We know it like JJK, it's not really like the same. He's like Gage has been really good at like keeping it like still JJK and like controlled.
Yeah.
But there have been times where like fuck, like that's like an ass pull.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
So
with the thing though, like Vegapunk said, it was like two different ideologies. He said that he wouldn't comment on which one was right or wrong.
exactly. I think it's like a
I feel like that's
area.
interpreted to like, yeah, that gray area, or like
Yeah.
who you are, right?
But also because he was saying like what he learned was through the pornoglyphs, like that information that from because he's only read a few of them.
Yeah.
So like that he might just not be like privy to that information, doesn't know what's actually
Maybe.
like what the two ideologies were even. He just knows that there was a war between the two ideologies and the people that won became the world government.
Yeah, but like just assuming what the world government is now, Imusama, and just like how like it's going against what should have been the agreement with the 20 kings.
Yeah.
I feel like just off of that basis, you know that there's a wrong side versus a right side.
Exactly.
And like the fact that like Luffy's whole thing is like, hey, I just want to be free.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to be free with this world government, meaning
Exactly.
that like this world government has to go for
Word.
true freedom,
You're
not just for
spitting.
Luffy, but like the world to
You're spitting.
exist.
You're spitting.
Yeah.
No, that's real. That's what I'm saying. So like, because we know that the 20 kingdoms became the world government.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they formed the world government.
Yep.
Yeah, the world government might have changed from like how it was when it started, but if Joy Boy was like on the other side of that, everyone thought that's why they thought of him as a pirate. And remember like what I was saying?
Yeah.
I was saying how like Joy Boy isn't actually a pirate.
Yeah.
How he's like, because like remember we're doing like the like Nolan dating back Nolan like 400 years. He was like there weren't actually like pirates then. There was just like they were just wandering to like go from island to island and like in search of like shit, right? Like imperialism and stuff. They weren't actually doing any pirating. So then I was saying how because Joy Boy predates that.
Yeah.
He would have been in that same boat of like Nolan just adventuring, and they just they like called him a pirate.
Yeah.
Like how like they also call Kuma like a tyrant. Like it's like
yeah.
false information, right?
Yeah. Maybe. But wouldn't that information be coming from the poneglyphs?
Yeah, but like I mean like depends on who wrote in the pornoglyphs now too, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Like there's obviously gonna be pornoglyphs with the real information, but like if everyone like in Wano and stuff like they were passing down that language
Yeah.
that they were and like this like being able to write in the pornoglyphs,
Yeah.
like that might have been common tongue before, and especially the way Vegapunk said like there used to be continents and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's like probably we're going based off like real world.
Yeah.
They have continents and everyone's so much more closer and like whatever, and now it's just all like separate islands.
Yeah.
It makes sense if they were all able to a degree like speak that language, and then it died out.
Yeah, maybe. I have a question. A little bit more into like theory land potentially. And I know we don't have the complete information. Vegapunk's still talking. Why did Roger laugh?
Oh, I think Roger laughed at realizing that, you know how like going back into how Rayleigh was like it's too soon.
Mm.
Like Roger just realized that like even though they got all the answers, like he's not in a position to do anything about it. It's kind of like the irony of it. Like he has the capabilities to like do something, but he doesn't have the time to do anything, and like maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's also like that 20 years when I think they're sailing by Fishman Island and stuff, and then like but like it's like Poseidon's not going to be born for like another, like the sea beasts are saying how like
Okay.
she's not going to be born for like another like 14-15 years or something.
Right.
So it's kind of like all going into that, like just lining it all up into like the cleansing essentially.
Huh. I remember Rayleigh was saying that like when they were asking him like, yo, what'd you guys like learn,
Yeah.
right? And he was like, oh, well, you guys will find out, and like maybe you guys come to a different consensus.
Exactly. Like
So
yeah.
I think this is all like this is kind of where it might go into where they might mess it up, where like there
Yeah.
actually was a gray area.
Yeah. Because they would have had a different answer.
Yeah.
Because like because Roger disbanded his pirate crew after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So whatever like they had, like whatever that answer was, like Roger was just in, like he's kind of like not in like disbelief, but he's kind of just like, it makes sense for him to disband their group now. Because also if you think about it, like now that he has that answer,
yeah,
the world government wanted him dead.
right.
Like they executed him, public execution, everything.
Yeah,
Like they wanted him dead because to make sure that nobody knows this shit.
right.
So him disbanding his group a year early, because he waited a full year before he turned himself in.
Yeah, yeah,
That whole year they were able to like go into hiding and like try to survive to a certain extent.
right.
So I think like it, like I think Roger's move was like, it was like kind of calculated, you know,
Mm.
because like when we were seeing the flashback through like kind of like Shanks and like Odin and stuff, we're not really getting that information on purpose, right? And we're getting it from their viewpoint where they're like, I don't understand why. Like even Odin was kind of like, he
Yeah.
never really understood Roger, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like. Yeah, no, I
You know
get
what I
that.
mean?
I get
So-
that. Yeah.
And I hope like we get that difference where like Luffy's answer is different from Roger's answer.
I feel like their answers might be the same. I think the issue came, like you said, for Roger was the fact that like, they're too soon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he figured out that like, you need this gum fruit. I feel like he kind of came down to those answers like, it can't be me. I'm too old. I'm
Yeah.
like
Only has like a
too
year to live.
early. I feel like maybe even Joy Boy was too early.
I think Joy Boys was a different thing.
Yo.
Because you know the way Vegapunk was like the war still happening.
Yeah.
I think like with Joy Boy realizing that he's on the wrong side of like his like with his beliefs.
Oh, maybe yeah.
I feel like Joy Boy was trying to like actually protect everyone, and he died trying to like you know how like Zunisha and like how they said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
His final orders might have been like do anything you can to like, you know, keep people alive, like keep, like he wants their culture to keep going, because like with that 200-meter rise, like when you think about the islands that are left, like those islands are essentially like what, like the highest point, or
yeah,
what?
I guess.
Like,
Yeah, they would be the highest point.
right? Because if it just sunk, it would just be the highest points that are left out of the new islands.
Yeah.
So it'd really just be about like getting all these people like to that, like moving them and getting them there.
Yeah.
So I think that might have been what he did. And then like, why did Rayleigh become a ship coder?
Yeah, true.
Right, like
true.
specifically ship coder. It's
Yeah.
like to prepare for the rise, like the meters.
Like also kind of goes down to why did Roger say that like the One Piece is real and start like this whole pirate thing, getting more people on the sea.
Yeah. Because if he learned that Joy Boy was like the original pirate and Joy Boy's like train of thought was the right one,
Yeah.
I guess like his best option really is to, you know, get as many pirates on the sea as they can,
Yeah.
make it as uncontrollable for the world government as they can.
Yeah. I mean, also like going into like, will Luffy come down to the same answer as like Roger? I think based off of the fact that like we're kind of getting answers out of like Shanks as well. Like Shanks
Yeah.
saying that like Rayleigh, like I found this kid, like I'm putting all my
Mm-hmm.
trust into him. He's like Roger, right? Like he said some line like that, right? Or like their thought process or something.
He
They were
said
like,
he said the same thing as, I think it's whatever Luffy's dream was might have been the same thing that Roger's dream was.
okay,
Because we don't actually know what Luffy's dream is.
yeah,
Like they blanked it out for us, but I think that's what it was. Because I think Luffy told Shanks what his dream was,
yeah,
and then that's what made Shanks like put faith in him.
yeah. So I think
But they're two totally different people though. Like
No, yeah.
Roger can actually like Roger cares about certain things. Like there's so many times where they're like breaking shit down, like not even in just a plan, but like somebody's life story or like Nami's backstory and shit.
yeah,
Luffy didn't hear none of that shit. Like there's so much information that Luffy just like doesn't give a fuck about.
oblivious about.
Just
yeah.
yeah, and he's just like, you guys listen to it, do your thing. I'm just gonna go take a nap or I'm gonna go walk around.
Yeah,
Yeah. So whereas like Roger seems like he actually like
cares.
like he's knowledgeable about stuff, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
like he's taken it further. Like
But I think that comes down to the fact that Luffy is like on time and he is the right person to do it
yeah,
because instinctually.
he's doing
He's
doing it.
doing it.
Yeah.
So then it kind of comes down to like
Like-
it genuinely was a thing
And,
where
and he's not letting
Roger wasn't the right guy, nor was he on time.
and he's not letting information sway him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like with all the propaganda and stuff from the world government, he's not letting any of that like change.
Fully going
also,
off
like,
instinct.
When you think about it, like there's like, there's like 3 sides to a story, like my side, your side, and the real story.
Yeah.
It's like that, where like he's not letting anything like change his interpretation. Like he's like, okay, no, like you're a bad guy because you hurt my friend, or you're not giving them food or whatever. Like, it's like stuff like that. So like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, me too.
Is there anything else One Piece related besides Sabo being the GOAT?
And unfortunately, Zoro's not the strongest. So.
Yo, Zoro. So okay. Oh, let me talk about that.
Okay.
Zoro and Jinbe, like we see them like
again,
running and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're taking a while, and Zoro's like, "Yo, we were busy," and he goes ...
Oh.
And then Nami or somebody cuts him off. They're like, "Yo, Zoro, where the fuck you at? Like,
where you
get
been?
up here."
Yeah.
It seems like they were doing something.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's a reason why, like the ... like he got cut off for a reason. Like,
yeah.
So like, because like we were kind of talking about like where have they been this whole time? So what were they busy doing? We know that they weren't like fighting anyone particularly.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I
So
don't
it's
actually
like,
know. Yeah, it has to be something to like a diversion of some sort, create more chaos type of thing to like help get the Straw Hats out easier. I would assume.
Maybe like something that's gonna come into play later.
Yeah, like almost like a booby trap type of situation where like this is whatever they set up allows the Straw Hats to actually leave
later.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah,
because I was thinking about it, like they're not on any of the battlefields. Like everyone's kind of up against someone.
Yeah.
So and this would have been
these 2 strong people doing, right?
Yeah, because like the other thing is where Zoro and Lucci are fighting, they're up at the like the Labostratum thing. Yeah, they're fighting up there, which is you would think is pretty close to where the ship is, where Nami's ship, where they're trying to dip, right?
Yeah.
Saturn was down at the bottom.
Yeah, and
Saturn climbed all the way up to the ship before Zoro guys got
made
there.
it back. Yeah.
So they had to have been like doing something with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I don't know, like were they hiding where Vegapunk's message is coming from, or like?
Oh wait, like protecting it?
Something? Yeah. Like is that the reason why like Saturn guys can't find it, or? I don't know.
They've been moving it around. It's actually them. they're just.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, how are they? Like, is that what they were busy doing, or were they busy? I can't think of anything else. Like,
yeah, I mean, to me, the one that makes the most sense is like creating some sort of diversion or something that will allow them to leave easier.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else happened in the chapter.
Because I could see Vegapunk's whole like speech that he's doing kind of ending as the Straw Hats are actually fully leaving.
Yeah, but the way, like I was telling you at the beginning when we started with the Vegapunks, like the way Oda had done Vegapunk's message of kind of prolonging it, just to kind of extend it for like cliffhangers and stuff. I feel like he's doing that because like when he's gonna get to that moment of really crucial information, they're gonna destroy wherever this message is relaying from.
Don't do it.
That's what I feel like is gonna, like, because otherwise like what's the point of like,
hey Oda, don't do it.
Like what's the point of extending it like that? Because like he's kind of having all this stuff play out in the background behind Vegapunk's message, where all the Gorosei are looking and trying to kill everything.
Yeah.
So they're kind of on like hunt mode.
Yeah.
So he's kind of just prolonging it to the point where when he gets to that point in the message where we want to know something, and then it cuts off.
Yeah, you're right. I think right. it'll probably be the moment of either whatever they're gonna learn
through Robin.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I just wish it wasn't like, I wish it wasn't noticeable. Like I wish I didn't notice the way he was just like, saying
just
the same
straight
things.
up pump fake, right?
Yeah,
like you already noticed it.
Yeah. I think that's it though. I don't really have anything else about this One Piece chapter.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty excited to see where it's gonna go. Oh, no, I just remembered. No, because I remember I was watching the pod. When I was telling you guys about the this might be a spoiler, so if nobody wants to know this, skip a little bit.
The fucking Elbaf.
The Elbaf thing.
Where'd you get that information?
So,
because I said it, but I had no.
Yeah. So basically, remember how like with the Flash movie they came out with like those pop figures, and you knew that Dark Flash was gonna be in the movie. It was kind of like that, where there was a website that had Elbaf outfits for the Straw Hat Crew or some shit like that, and it was something along those lines where it was set to release in November,
Okay.
and people took that information, and like I was seeing it like
The anime or the manga?
the manga.
Damn.
Well, I'm that's the thing.
We
That's
got a
what I'm
long
saying.
ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, take it as like a grain of salt, because like maybe it could be the anime. Like, it's like because that's like one of those things where it's like we kind of know, like everyone kind of knows that they're going to Elbaf, or
Yeah.
like 90% like Oda has to take them to Elbaf.
Yeah.
But like if it's the anime in November, that's cool too, because that kind of that changes the timeline for the manga a little bit, because then we'd get it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But like I was kind of wondering like, yo, if Elbaf is in the manga in November, like we're heading into June now, so we got June, July, August, September, October. We have 5 months.
Yeah.
That's 20 weeks. But then every 5 weeks he takes a break, so we've got about like 16 weeks, so 16 chapters.
Yeah, like 15 to 16
16 chapters isn't a lot of chapters. So like I can see that within 16 chapters they're at Elbaf, because you could have Egghead end within like the next like 6 chapters.
Okay.
In the next 10 chapters, like they can go to Garp, they can show what's happening in the world other than
okay. Yeah,
they have so much more info, like,
but
they can show what's happening with the Holy Knights, they can show Emu, like they can show Kid and
I
Law
guess,
again.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of
Yeah, no, you're
things to
right.
do.
Like I guess there's a lot of things to do, but like it's also one of those things where it's like if you're putting One Piece in the final saga, you also kind of want to stick with the main characters as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, but Oda always does that, where like at the end of every arc he has that like mini arc of what's happening around the world.
That's true.
Right?
He does,
So
yeah.
that's why I'm like, there's space for that.
Yeah, maybe.
And like we could have it where
It just feels like it's so far away.
it does. It
Like,
feels
fuck.
like, yeah. But when you think about like his breaks every 5 weeks, and potentially any other unplanned breaks and stuff,
Yeah,
then I can see it definitely in November. And then
maybe, yeah.
if it's the anime in November, because like that's like, again, that's 20 weeks of episodes. We're still at the beginning of Egghead in the
Yeah.
anime. I don't think they're gonna cover it that fast.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Like, because they still got to do the Kuma flashback, and they haven't even done the Garp stuff yet. Like, Garp stuff's happening in the next couple episodes.
yeah.
Where like, yeah, like they're so far back. Like, I don't think the anime is gonna reach there by November. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This is also assuming that like the information is
true.
accurate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just popped up. Like, I
Yeah.
saw it on Twitter for like a week where people were talking about it, because I don't know if like they took the listing down, like whatever the website was, or whatever, so like you can't really check back.
Right.
So yeah, who knows?
We'll find out.
Yeah, because I know we've had that
I think
happen.
by the end of summer we'll find out.
Like we've had that kind of spoiled for us in a lot of ways for other anime, like with Dragon Ball Z, when they came out with like some, like, it was like Goku, when they spoiled Goku's
Goku Black.
well, remember Ultra Instinct?
Oh.
Remember how that was on like magazines and stuff for like his new
yeah,
form?
yeah.
Like there was like so many
Yeah.
different ways where like it was getting kind of spoiled, or like figures were coming out and you're like, oh, he's gonna go like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, like it's like,
Yeah.
so, and then we also have the Flash movie, like I talked about.
Yeah.
So like I can, like, it's like, yeah, I don't know, like I could trust that, like I want to believe we're going to Elbaf, like I can trust that like Oda's gonna take us there.
Yeah.
November is actually like it would kind of line up if it is in November, and like, to be honest, like just because the toys are releasing in November or whatever doesn't mean the arc's gonna start then too.
Yeah.
It's just the arc might start like a month before that.
That's true. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just quickly, My Hero Academia, Wackademia, Whack.
Yeah.
That shit was horrible,
Okay, tell me what happened.
bro. So like, let me just they clash. They
Yeah.
go essentially what, like, you know, when Naruto hits somebody, they start having a conversation. Dude just fizzles off into nothingness.
Oh,
Shigaraki.
okay, he kind of had to though.
But like it was just so like it was so
his body was
lackluster.
he had to fight
bro.
against time of his body reversing, right?
But it's so lackluster.
Is the way it happened?
Let me show you these. Just like, you don't even have to read it. Just literally scroll this chapter and tell me this, like, the conclusion of this fight isn't fucking atrocious.
Well, I mean, the whole fight was already. Oh, Bakugo's still alive? That's crazy.
Yeah.
All you are is a lonely man. That's crazy. I thought you guys were kids. I thought they were kids. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because they have like that kind of like the JJK style of like talking to each other in like heaven or whatever when they die, and just like and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
At least it's done now.
The fight
Like,
is.
yeah, at least the fight's done. Like, bro, give us 5 chapters and end it.
And the whole
please.
series?
End that shit, dude.
Probably not. Let's be honest. All right, moving on. I don't care about My Hero. That was kind of
Let's
it.
talk about Vinland.
Yeah, I was gonna actually say Vinland as well. Thorfinn's actually
Dude,
fucked up.
What the fuck? He got arrows in his back and shit. Like, when he's talking and he's like, yo, every time I try to breathe, it like leaks out
Yeah.
and he can't hold his breath. I'm like, when I read that, I was just like, yo, this guy's dying. Like,
I don't think so.
like Hild saved him, but
Yeah.
just the way he, like, I'm like, he's kind of like, who knows if he can even like work in like regular capacity anymore. Like the way that puncture wound is, and it, like he probably pierced
if
his
like
lung.
after this, like, and whether he heals, like, he's not gonna be the same Thorfinn. Yeah, maybe.
And because he was like, oh dude, this chapter was amazing. First of all, like the way that he's kind of like blacking out,
Yeah.
and he's thinking about like all these people, like he's talking to Thorkel.
Oh yeah. He's like, I told you the war would follow.
Yeah, like all these people against his wishes, and then like just that paneling of like his face looking sideways, and then you have his face looking same panel, face looking sideways, but then Hild's face like in front, and then you have another panel of her carrying him.
Yeah.
Like just that transition where because he's like coming in and out of like real life and like what he's dreaming about.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really cool. Like I know like if that gets animated, it'd just be such a seamless transition.
Oh, for sure.
And then Hild's also the one saying like, yo, like
You were right.
you're the guy, bro. Like if everyone was like you, there wouldn't be any war or anything. I already loved Hild, and then like just to have that happen, because even before everyone's like, oh, Hild's gonna go kill the chieftain and stuff, like she doesn't understand. But then she does. She doesn't, like, you see how she's just like sniping out their feet so they can't pursue Thorfinn.
Yeah.
So she actually like she's not trying to kill them. And even the guy's like, yo, who the fuck is so accurate that they're just sniping our legs?
Yeah.
Like why aren't they sniping anything else, right?
Yeah, and I also think that like because Thorfinn got hurt, it completely sidetracks anything she wants to do, and like probably put her in a sense of like realization,
in a position to like be like, yo, I need to save him, otherwise everything's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even the guy that found them at the end, he's gonna help him.
He's gonna help him. 100%.
He's gonna help him. So that's gonna be good. But the way the last chapter finished, before with like they cut the dude's hand off or something, and they took his sword. Yeah. Like I don't see any way that they can like repair this like friendship.
Oh no. So like I was actually gonna like the only like theory I think we can get into is because Thorfinn's being reinforced and reinsured that like, yo, look, like you're the guy, like everything that you did was proper, like realistically if everybody was like you, it would be fine. Yeah. Is Thorfinn about to leave Vinland with just a small group? His wife, his kids,
potentially.
Hild, whoever else decides to come with him. Einar might end up staying.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I think like Hild's gonna be there to support him in his like decision, but also enough of a support to where I feel like Thorfinn has that sauce to him to actually like rekindle somewhat of what they can, like, because remember like with the First Nations, it's not just one tribe, right? Like these are multiple tribes. Yeah. So I think that they'll be able to rekindle like a friendship with one tribe, the guys that actually like fuck with them, like the translator, like the girl and that guy. Yeah. Like the guy that just pulled up in the last in this chapter. I think they'll be able to rekindle somewhat of a friendship, but like would you want him to go back to like Iceland or whatever?
Well, it's one of those things.
Like to finish out, like
if it's following like accurate history, then like he has to go back, right?
But as far as like the viewers are concerned and stuff, like, is that just a way to like have it like his tombstone is gonna be back at home? Mm-hmm. Like just have it end off like that, or have it or would you rather have it with Thorfinn dies in Vinland, and then have his tombstone there as like a you know, like as like a what could have been or what we should strive to do or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's a better message there? Because one way, if he goes back to Iceland,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, like this was all for nothing. Whereas the other way, it's like there's hope for, like, you know, maybe sometime in the future it'll happen.
You see, like that's like the thing is like how much is because they have been bordering like, you know, fantasy / like history
Yeah.
at the same time, right? And like in terms of like how it's following like pretty linear to like the actual events
Yeah.
leading Thorfinn to Vinland.
Yeah.
So then like does it come down to the writer saying fuck it, I'm going to actually just make this my ending, or is he going to say like I'm going to continue with Thorfinn's story and try to tell the best story I possibly can for Thorfinn?
Yeah, because I mean, because if he's trying to tell the best possible story for Thorfinn,
Yeah.
when you see the way he's struggling and he's like just so much wants to have peace,
Yeah.
using him as like a symbol like for that is better in my opinion, rather than having Thorfinn go back realizing that like having some type of dialogue being like, yeah, like can't, like I did all this and realized that we couldn't do it. There was something that he had mentioned in this chapter actually. Shit, what was it? It was when he was talking to Thorkill and stuff, where he's kind of, I gotta search this up. Do you have it on your phone right now?
I was trying to see kind of like the whole history. So they stayed in Vinland for about 3 years, and then Thorfinn and the rest of the colonists abandoned Vinland. So you know how I was saying.
So you got them all out.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, do you think they're all gonna listen to him?
Maybe that's what, like, you know how you're saying that, like, maybe he does rekindle some stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he does actually rekindle some stuff, but like the deal at the end is still that like they have to leave.
Okay.
Because
like
he
stops
bloodshed. War.
He
leaves in peace.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this real quick.
I think.
Okay, it's the end. Our experiment ends here. It was an important experiment with a clear result.
Yeah.
If we couldn't do it here in Vinland, where else could we possibly build a land of peace? That's Einar saying it, but it's if they're treating it like an experiment, then Thorfinn goes back to Canute. And like I'm so curious. Like I want to see more of Canute's story.
What he's doing.
Yeah, because like if Canute found peace in Vinland while Thorfinn tried to, or not in Vinland, like back in like Iceland and stuff. If he found peace for all like that territory, and he couldn't over here, when he comes back, at least he'll be happy that he tried.
Yeah, but
if it's possible.
Canute, but like it's like two different methods of reaching peace.
Because Canute was like he's trying to force it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Thorfinn's just like trying to live in peace.
Yeah, like Thorfinn's trying to do it like in terms of like freedom of like expression and stuff. Like people like will go for peace.
Yeah.
But that's where the experiment ends, is what like Einar's kind of saying, is like you kind of need to control people into thinking into forcing peace. And if you think about like the way the world is now, it's the governments are doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a pretty solid way to end it too. Yeah.
See, it's so weird because of the way that the history goes. Where like the whole thing of Vinland is finding Vinland, right? But then again, you could also argue that like the reason it's called Vinland Saga is because it was a saga. Yeah, and like also you like could never find Vinland. Yeah, there could be like some bittersweet ending, right? Where like peace was actually within your I don't know, some bullshit. Yeah, whatever. I don't know, because like if you really think about it, if he does go back to Iceland with his family, they could live in peace out there. As long as like nobody pulls up to say Thorfinn, you gotta come with me for like war. Same thing, kind of like what happened to his dad. Yeah. Like you could argue that you could live in peace out there. Yeah. Like his dad had made like a somewhat of a like a village that was like and like Thorfinn made connections with the one guy in Iceland. Yeah, the guy with the chains. That helped him do all that. The expedition. Yeah. So he made connections there intrigued him enough. I feel like you could reach ultimate peace out there
Yeah.
in Iceland.
Yeah. I think it's like man, it kind of sucks because he doesn't always drop every month.
Yeah.
And like I wish the chapters were dropping every month because it's like we're like right there. Like you can kind of see like the
I feel like that's
finish
why
line.
though.
Yeah, you can see the finish line, and it's like, but it's like part of it's like you don't want to rush that finish line.
No,
Like, he
yeah.
needs to have it like like Thorfinn did everything he could. Like you need to see that struggle up until the end.
Yep.
The whole way through. So like, I just wish we could, like just have it on a monthly basis.
I do think that like, regardless of the fact that like if Thorfinn doesn't find like that peace in Vinland or whatever, I feel like going through this whole like process of like watching Thorfinn grow from like the start of the manga to like the end, I feel like is still a great message in like finding yourself and like living in peace. It's goated, and like,
bro. I feel like there's nothing he can do at the end. Like we're so deep now that like there's not really anything he can do to ruin this ending.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like it's just a matter of like what he wants as Thorfinn's ending.
Yeah. He
doesn't need to like do any like twists or pulls or nothing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Just kind of like stick to what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's really about like the end message of like I was saying, like that hopeful one of having him die in Vinland or Iceland. Like it kind of like it really depends on what message he wants to send.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is completely fine with me. Maybe he drops like a 3-chapter alternate ending type of thing, where like that'd be cool too. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be cool. Yeah. I want anything else said?
No.
I want to talk about Kagurabachi. Have you been reading it?
No.
Not at all.
I do want to. I've been like, to be honest, I feel like that potential everybody was seeing, I feel like is coming to fruition.
It is. Yeah.
My goated mangaka, like,
what's his name?
Takahashi Inoue.
Oh yeah, for Vagabond and
Slam Dunk and Real.
Yeah.
He co-signed it supposedly.
Yeah.
So
he co-signed like it's kind of weird because the way he said it was like it's like fun. It's it's the way like manga should be type of thing. Like the way his words were was like
I don't know. Did we send it between ourselves?
I think so.
I'll check.
I thought we talked briefly.
Yeah, we did.
Anyways, I just caught up with it. It's like on chapter 33 right now.
All right.
Because like I've been kind of reading it, kind of not. Like I was up to like chapter 17, and then I just like went through like another 16 chapters like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It's actually like one thing is like considering like the pacing from the beginning, it's slowed down a little bit, which I like because it's still like pretty fast, but it's at a point where I'm happy with the pacing. Like it's working with the story. They're actually having like these arcs in the story, and like they're not like crazy big arcs, but like at least like the story's flowing in like a linear like proper way. Whereas in the beginning, it just felt like he was rushing the beginning so fast just to like get the
story started
and just get the hype on it and stuff, right? And like which I didn't really like at the beginning. I think his like what your manga said about it, like with like the sword fights and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Like I really do like this paneling for the way their fights go down, and I feel like there's the way it like continues to open up the way their abilities work. Like you don't care about spoilers, right?
Oh yeah, and my fault. It was Takahiko Inoue.
Oh, okay.
My fault. I was thinking about the boxer.
Okay. So basically, like where they're at now, there's like a family that does an auction.
By the way, I might not care about spoilers. You guys might move to the next.
So basically, this guy, this family, he has a subspace.
Okay. That
he puts all of his auction items in, and the way, and this was very like Hunter x Hunter type of thing, or like kind of like not like Crollo, but like just the way the system works, because like the Nen beasts and stuff, because like how like the Nen beasts have like the princes all have it when they're born or whatever. Yeah. This guy has all of his sons and family members are like put into like a ceremony that like gives them access to the subspace. So everyone, only family members have access to the subspace. And the main guy, you know how he's like going to get his swords and shit? His sword is actually in the subspace, like the sword he has.
Okay.
With like the koi fish and stuff.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, because he left it there. He put it there on purpose because he's trying to like tap into it and like look through his koi fish's, goldfish's eyes and stuff, and see where the space is and everything. Because he kind of has like a link to it.
Okay.
And he's trying to figure out whether it's like a physical space somewhere that they can get to, or whether it is a subspace. So like, the cool thing is like this dude, he can pull out any weapons or anything through the subspace. So like, and this goes far enough where if any of his family members are in danger, because they have that contract to like reach the subspace,
Yeah.
he can pull his family members to him.
Hmm.
So it's like just like the way like the magic and stuff is like expanding is like, it's really cool.
Okay.
I'm fucking with it like really heavy because like they already had explained how the way each sword manifests is different for everyone.
Okay.
And then they go even further where they're talking about how like, if I have the sword, that sword makes a contract with me, and it's an endless contract. So until I die, nobody else can own that
use
sword.
the sword. Okay.
Yeah. So and that kind of like, it kind of forces that like, that bloodshed of like, or like greed where people like, you have to kill the owner for you to
get it,
to own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
creates a cycle.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's actually like really opening up like really well. Like, and this is only 30 chapters in.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's doing a good job so far.
Okay.
And then the only issue I kind of have, and this is like such a minor thing, like I think it's just like the art style, like the characters, like the way they're drawn and stuff.
Okay.
I just don't. Sometimes there's just certain times where I just don't like it.
Okay.
But that's like a personal thing.
I know. I remember when we first checked it out.
Yeah.
You had issues with dialogue.
No, that's like, it's way better now.
Okay.
It's a lot better now, but it's not like the best it could be, but it's still like it seems like this author is getting better as he's writing it.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's
like,
fair, right?
And
like,
that's
especially if you're
fair.
new.
Exactly. So like,
yeah.
I'm gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna give it like the benefit of the doubt and just kind of keep going with it. Yeah.
Might be one of those things to check out if you're not checking out, and
yeah,
I'll probably hop back into it soon.
Yeah, I think you guys should definitely. And then even Gachi Yakura, because they have like an anime confirmed.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure where that information came from.
Yeah,
based off of the tweet you sent, because
Yeah.
that person has said misinformation before.
Yeah, I just saw like, it was like a 1 minute fucking thing of like manga panels.
Yeah, but like
a video.
You know,
So
anybody can make that.
Anybody can make that. Yeah, but I think we gotta hop back in that too. I'm not gonna lie, like we've been kind of off Gachi for a minute. I want to talk about what, D.Gray Man.
Yeah, we're on D.Gray Man.
Yo.
Okay, wait.
Yo.
I could definitely see those assistants. Like, you know how Hoshino had like a job listing up for a couple assistants.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that those assistants are helping her.
Yeah,
because the art,
immaculate.
It's disgusting.
Immaculate. It's amazing.
It's fucked.
It's fucking crazy.
The detail in every panel is fucked. God. But like, I guess that's like the thing. If you got 4 months to do it, like you know how Black Clover went to like essentially every 4 months.
Yeah,
that ain't it.
that art ain't it.
This is what 4 months of like
Holy shit, dude! It's like even like the detail in the building.
Look at Alan's eyes.
Yeah,
it looks like anime.
I love her.
You know how
eyes,
in anime like eyes are so detailed.
Yeah.
In manga they might not be.
Yeah.
They look like fucking anime eyes, bro.
Yeah. No, I fucking love the way he looks.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah, and like in terms of like the content that we just received this one chapter, dude, it felt, you know, like my whole issue with like D.Gray Man has been a lot of more so like pacing.
Yeah.
Like how like we'll be stuck in this one thing for so long, and like the information that we're getting isn't enough per chapter.
Yeah.
This chapter finally felt right. Holy in terms of the amount of information that we were given just this chapter, in terms of just the bookman, potentially who like Alan Nia, like is, Nia, and who was protecting
everything
Alan.
That's like been like building up to this, like the past like
finally
arc, the whole goodbye to Alan Walker arc.
Yeah,
like that whole arc of like get like, because we'd get like information, and like good on her for not rushing it either.
Yeah,
because like I like the way like they're showing us like the pillars and like just like the 14th and kind of slowly going into that history.
Yeah,
I'm happy that she didn't rush it, because like it kind of sucks that it's every 4 months, so it feels like it's painstakingly slow.
Yeah.
But when you're like, if you go back and you read it like chapter to chapter, it does it really well. Like it's going through really well.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, but then like that kind of comes down to like the fact that you got to know that you're in a 4-month thing.
Yeah, lull.
So like you gotta give your readers enough.
Yeah.
And I felt like at times that wasn't the case.
There.
I feel like this chapter
fucking did it.
Did it.
Yo, like, oh my god, man. Like I just so happy reading this. I'm actually just, oh my god.
So we know that Apocrypha potentially, we'll find out, I guess, but like Apocrypha essentially
changed
Alan. So like the theory of like who is actually Alan, or like how this happened so long ago, how was Alan a kid?
Yeah.
Now we probably have the answer. I feel like Alan saying that this is what I felt, I feel like it's gonna come true.
That's the thing, because they're saying how like there was two.
Yeah.
This is the thing, because this is kind of like that theory of like what the Millennium Earl was.
Yeah.
And now there's like the husk of Millennium Earl.
Yeah.
But it's going further than that, because nobody even thought about this. But Nia was also split into two, right? So there's Alan, and then there's that dude that we don't really know who he is. Who's supposed to be the bookman. The guy who's supposed to be the bookman.
Yeah.
The next one.
The protector of Alan.
And they're both like, those two versions are gone.
Yeah.
And now it's Alan, and so it's like do you think Lavi is supposed to be that other guy?
No.
Or Lavi's like somebody that they found to replace that other guy?
Yeah, Lavi's the one that they found to replace him, but we're gonna find out what happened. Obviously, like Alan took the fucking thing.
Yeah,
I forgot what they called it.
So I feel like this is hitting up, like this is going to like our theory that we had of like, now that Alan took that potion, like he might get a shit ton of answers, but I think this is the time where Alan hits the back seat, and now Nia's the one in the front seat.
Yeah, maybe
for like the remainder.
Maybe. I feel like
Alan might get lost in like just learning himself.
Yeah, but I feel like learning all of this and kind of figuring out everything. Going to the camp I'll mention, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know how this whole time we've been saying that Alan's gonna kind of become that like middle ground.
Yeah.
I feel like knowing that like this isn't technically the same Alan as like what was going on with back in the day, who fully supported Nia.
Yeah.
Literally gave up his body, right?
Yeah.
Alan's gonna, he has resistance. He's a new being essentially.
Yeah.
So he's gonna become that middle ground where like Nia and Alan might end up actually working together.
Yeah. But remember how kind of like how Megumi took the backseat?
Yeah.
So it could be that like whatever Alan ends up learning from the way that his body got remade, he might end up
too dark.
He might be in like a
despair. Yeah. Maybe, but I feel like with like I
don't think he would,
because I'm thinking about his character where he's at right now. I feel like there's not much more you could throw.
No, that's
at
what I'm saying.
him.
Like he's already like been through it. Like
yeah.
But it's kind of like knowing that he'd been through it when like that's not even really who he actually was, and like it's like he might hit that like threshold of like, I can't do this, or just like.
But then I feel like knowing that like Johnny's there, I feel like that's perfect because it reminds him of his current self. Yeah. Knowing that like he has a family outside of
if he can
like a new life.
If he can tap into that, like we don't know what this like liquid drug thing is doing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So like we'll see how he interprets his like his life and like what happened.
Another flashback, man.
It seems like it. But like these are answers we need.
No,
right?
I know we need them, but like what sucks about it is that like we literally just got out of a flashback that was fucking years long. And now we're going back into another one, potentially.
I like that it gave us these answers about the bookman of like, there is not just one.
Yeah.
Like we thought it was just Lavi and...
Also how they record stuff. Yeah. Like I always wonder, like what are they writing this into a book? There's just massive books. Like what? Like how do they write this shit? Like how do they actually keep track of history?
Yeah, like these are always littered throughout the country or wherever. Just normal people. Yeah. Nobody even really knows who they are or whatever. I like that's such a cool like secret organization type of like thing. Like I just like it was giving me kind of like that like the John Wick vibe of like the way their information is and everything.
Yeah.
And then even like because the bookman is just like whoever's at the top, right?
Yep.
And he was saying how he actually had to become Bookman again, and that's why he was looking for somebody else to give it to.
Yeah.
So I feel like, is there a possibility that Bookman chose, like, him choosing Lavi was actually like the wrong choice?
Why? Because he thinks more on emotion.
Yeah, and also
Like he's willing
like
to.
it's the wrong choice for their organization, because Lavi's already tried, like, he's already helped the Exorcist, so he's already swayed history.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Which
That I feel like it kind of goes into like maybe he's not supposed to be the exact carbon copy or whatever of
Yeah.
like the protector, like Alan's protector, but instead Bookman just sucks at picking and essentially just picks somebody similar because maybe he had some sort of attachment to the last book, like the protector, and like now he picked another one that's just like him, so like it's gonna put this Bookman situation at risk again because Lavi is putting himself out there.
I can see Lavi being that protector though, because like there was that theory of Lavi being cross.
What?
Yeah, there was a theory because they're both redheads and eye patch, like same eye patch. People made that theory of like, what if that's him? Like different, like, because Cross, we don't know enough about Cross.
Yeah, we don't.
Where Cross could have been like from the other world that just got destroyed from the Noah, or like he could be from the future, or like so many different ways to play that out. So like Lavi could be Cross, is what, and like because that's also the way that Lavi does his like spells and shit, because his are like with his hammer, it's like spell art, whatever, and then Cross has his own. He's the only other person to actually use like spells and shit in that way without just using innocence. Besides the crows, but yeah,
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But like,
but that it'd be.
But Lavi with like, if he is Alan's protector in some way, because like him and Alan look
doing
like
a shit job then.
No, like him and Alan look like they're the same age, and
yeah,
we know that like 35 years ago, like
what? So then
both of them disappeared.
No, well, yeah, I guess.
And then we don't know if they both got reformatted.
Yeah.
And then
as a
Lavi's connection to Alan, like maybe the reason why he keeps inserting himself into history is because he keeps trying to protect Alan. Like it's that instinct of like he wants to know where this goes.
Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a thing of like he's just a similar type of person. Yeah. And like Bookman just like picked.
Because here's the other thing though. Because Road also was playing with Lavi.
Yeah.
When they were in the Noah's Ark and it was dying and Alan's fighting Tiki.
Yeah.
Like Road was fighting Lavi then.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there more to it there? Like because if Lavi has that like husk of Nia or whatever, that's like.
Wouldn't you argue though that like if you're supposed to be the protector of Alan, that in a situation where like Alan's body is going to get changed or something, you would try to protect it? And rather, wouldn't Apocrypha's like whole thing be, I'm gonna kill you because you're getting in my way, not going to the same extent as you're doing with Alan?
I think it depends on like how this what the reasoning was, but like why Alan actually, like from the 35 years ago, why they did that, the whole goal of that, because like he's not 35, he's like 15 or some shit.
Yeah. So
like, what was the purpose of doing that? Because like it seems like that was to hide his what he was really gonna do with his powers, like whatever his train of thought was from like 35 years ago. Because now like Alan, like I feel like it's safe to assume that Alan now is totally different from that version.
Yeah.
Right. Because that would like we were saying, like how whatever Nia is thinking might not actually be like the correct way to handle this whole Noah and like demon situation or whatever. Yeah. So then is it to like prevent that? Like if Alan doesn't have memories of that, he has the ability to like see the world by like for the first time on his own without having all that previous knowledge. Well, and then that'll help him form his own opinion.
Well, we know he, as in Apocryphus, that like he does whatever is like would like
benefits the heart.
Benefits the heart. So if it meant that like keeping Alan as it was going to
That'd be
detrimental, then it just makes sense like why he did what he did.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, like we still don't know if like who's on the right side of this war and
we
all
don't.
that.
Yeah.
So like the actions that Apocryphus might be an extreme, but like the heart could very much be like the heart of the world, and like it's to really, at the end of the day, it's to protect the world.
You know what's weird
Right.
about? No, I'll get into this off pod, but it's like a sidetrack of everything. But keep going. Sorry.
But so like because we don't really know the heart's place in the world,
yeah,
like what it really means, like because all we've really gotten is what Millennium Earl thinks the heart is, and he thinks that if he destroys it, it destroys all innocence.
yeah,
But the heart could be so many other things, and like, you know, like for some, like the way like Apocryphus and like what's it, the Hitler guy and like the Black Order, just like the way that they're doing such like experiments and like evil, borderline evil shit
yeah,
in order to like do anything for the heart. Like we're just assuming that we don't actually know if the heart's actually like pure and it's on its own thing,
yeah,
and humans are just twisting it, or if like the heart's actually evil and then Noah are actually right, and like it's just the two ways they're handling the situation, right? So like, yeah,
I think I still believe in my theory that like the Noah are actually using the Millennium Earl.
yeah, I think they're using him too.
Like
but-
whatever happened, you know, like we saw with like Cross, like bringing it up to like Road, and
pillar.
we saw the pillar.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like a restart of the world.
Okay.
Obviously the Noah survived because they're the Noah.
Yeah.
And their memories, of course. And I feel like they're trying to get back at whatever is the godly figure of this whole universe world.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use the Millennium Earl to do such a thing. And if Millennium Earl's thing is the heart, then wouldn't it make sense that the heart is the god of it, and the heart is what actually destroyed the world once?
If it's the right way, because the thing is, none of the Noah actually know, besides Wisely and Road,
Yeah.
none of the Noah actually know what the fuck their mission is.
Yeah.
It seems like whatever Millennium Earl thought his mission was, all the other Noah, because they've been all born afterwards,
Yeah.
they're all kind of just like latched onto that plan.
Yeah.
And that's through like their family, like clan, like lineage shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't seem like Road or Wisely have been sharing information. It seems like they've been following this path with them,
Mm-hmm.
just to see where it ends up. I don't know if Road's like conniving and shit, because she doesn't seem like she is,
Yeah.
because it's like in the way that she's gonna like backstab her like family and stuff. She seems very much like for the family and everything.
But like that is for the family though.
But like what I mean is like it seems like she's allowing the Millennium Earl to like kind of like pick his path. Like she's just gonna follow what he thinks is right, because she doesn't want to give up information that might skew what they believe in. Because like you could say like the Noah from like back then, they had a completely different plan, and if Road reveals that,
Mm-hmm.
there's a high possibility that the pillar happens again. So like her like leaving out the information might be to make sure the pillar doesn't happen again.
Why? Why would the pillar happen again if Road says what she says?
It's kind of like it's like, you know, like if you've seen your future,
Uh-huh.
because you know your future is gonna happen, you don't actually like make the same moves that you would have, and then your future doesn't actually happen. It's kind of like that, where because they're given this information, it changes their actions, and whatever they would have done doesn't end up happening.
Then I feel like the Noah are just stuck in like this state of limbo, like they have no real purpose or goal.
Their purpose is what like Millennium Earl's purpose.
Exactly.
Right? But like I think like because some of them they don't like that Noah in them. They might want to get like, some of them might want to just get rid of that Noah side of them, and some of them might be like this is what connects us.
But then I feel like it kind of also goes into like the fact that like whatever the current Millennium Earl is doing isn't the right thing, because I would also theorize and assume that like actually at least along the lines of what Neo wants to do is actually the correct thing.
Yeah.
personally, like, that's what I've always felt like with
Yeah.
the way that the story has
Yeah.
moved and progressed, that Naya was actually in the correct position.
Yeah.
Maybe the way he was going about things wasn't the right way. Maybe they're a little, like, again, we were talking about, like,
So
it
that's
being a
like-
little too extreme. You know how
Yeah.
everybody's too extreme,
yeah.
and Alan is that middle ground.
That's why like I'm thinking like the way the Millennium Earl was before,
Yeah,
totally different from how he is now.
yeah,
Where like he like Mana literally like fractured his mind, made up like a whole thing that he didn't kill his own brother, and like whatever.
yeah.
So it's like
Became schizo.
exactly. So it's like if Road reveals like any of that shit to Millennium Earl,
Yeah,
it's gonna break his mind again or some shit, and who knows where it's gonna go. Cause like, and like maybe that's why like 35 years ago they had to do some shit with Alan, whatever it was, because like the way his like mind keeps breaking. Like we saw how like in the Alan flashback, like his mind, Mana's mind broke again,
yeah,
and then he was just like a husk, like when the Millennium Earl was actually born, essentially.
yeah.
Like, and he just became like a husk of himself. So it's kind of like that same thing.
Maybe, I don't know. It just still feels odd if that's the case. Then it, even if like their purpose is the Millennium Earls, like I feel
Yeah.
like they're kind of
Well-
stuck in a state of limbo.
We had, I think it was the last chapter, we had Wisely
Yeah, yeah,
start to tell these guys
yeah, yeah.
about what's about to happen. Like something about like something that like the bookman or something that where they were keeping.
No, I
like,
think he started opening their minds, like, cause like,
about the Noah, like their
Yeah.
past memories and shit.
yeah,
So then like why was Road against like revealing shit, and then why is Wisely okay with revealing it? So it seems like there's also like a separation there, and it seems like Road has like the deepest connection to Alan.
mm-hmm.
So like and Road and Tiki even like helped break Alan out of the Black
Yeah.
Order. So like I feel like even within like the Noah, like Road and Tiki are more along the lines of what Alan's thinking,
Probably.
right?
But again, I feel like it's all extremes.
I think Wisely is an extreme.
I think everybody's an extreme.
I don't know, cause like when you think about like Tiki's personality, like before he reawoken,
Yeah,
he liked having that like white and black version of himself.
yeah,
So he liked being able to play both sides, and like he kind of like found that was like his middle ground. Like,
yeah.
So he's not really like an extreme. Like he follows Millennium Earl. Like they all follow Millennium Earl to the
But
extreme
That's the issue.
of what following him.
That they follow to the extreme. It's the same way that you could say like the people following the order,
Order to
they're
the
following the extreme, right?
But with
And
Wisely,
like you had like
Mhm.
Alan, which becomes a case of like where they came outside of the order, they came outside of the Noah.
yeah.
You have everybody else that like has been helping Alan throughout this whole thing recently. They would become that middle ground, like the people that
Mm.
are truly in the middle. Like they've gone outside of the 2 factions or the 3 factions or however many factions, and they're now figuring out what is the best thing for this world,
Yeah.
essentially, or what are the truths
so-
of this world.
So then, Tiki and Road could do that too.
Maybe
They could
yeah.
they could branch away from the Noah.
Oh,
like,
100%, yeah.
because like everyone besides Road and Wisely, they just know like the 14th defected, and they're kind of like, yo, fuck that guy,
Yeah.
right? So Wisely opening up their minds now, there might be a rift here. Like we might actually have like
People fucking with Naya.
exactly, and that's gonna like fuck that up. But then it's like, is he, because they're not opening the mind of the Millennium Earl.
No, they're not.
They're letting him like just like think what he thinks.
Yeah.
So it's like how like one is how do they repair Mana, like Millennium Earl, because you have like the husk and him. Like how do you fix that, and then how do you fix the Nia too?
Yeah.
Like I feel like whoever the husk was for Nia, if they take that the Nia soul within Alan and join it with the husk, whoever the husk is, because like none of it, like readers don't have that emotional connection to whoever the husk is.
Yeah.
So like you just take his soul, put it in the husk, and now he's a full being. Like it's Nia. He's just in the husk.
Do you think that's what's needed?
It's like it's an alternative path that she can take instead of having
Yeah.
Alan and Nia like kind of be like a Naruto Kurama situation where they share the same body.
Yeah.
It's like Alan gets the chance to be his own person, because like this whole manga has been like Alan's been struggling essentially. Like there's like he's had happiness and stuff, yeah, but like not knowing who he is, like not knowing if like he was fated to do shit and like destiny's controlled, and like
Yeah.
if he's even his own person, like he's having so much of like a identity crisis in that way, where like you don't want Alan to follow the same path that Mana did and like basically just break,
Yeah.
right? And
yeah.
then like if he does break, then it's like father like son, you know?
I guess, yeah.
like I that's why I'm like, she has like the possibilities are open for her to kind of take it wherever she wants.
Yeah.
And like I'm okay with him. Like I want him to take the backseat for a while because I want to see how extreme Nia goes and like the decisions that because he was ready to kill Johnny.
Yeah.
So like I want to see like the type of shit that he's gonna do and have Alan kind of like the way like Yuji woke up to Sukuna just like destroying all of Shibuya.
Like Shibuya.
It's like
yeah.
the kind of like the same thing. Like you have
I don't
Alan.
think that's needed though.
It's not needed, but it's again like where this story that she's telling, like I don't even think it's not close to being done yet.
Oh no.
Right? Like we're having this is like a discovery arc, and then we still need like a final arc of like shit going down.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can definitely see like the next few chapters basically just being switching between like what the Noah are learning from opening their mind and what Alan's learning from opening his mind.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see it play out in a way where like both like the flashbacks are happening like together.
Mm.
And like it might be long, it might be the bulk of like the chapters, but like we're gonna get a lot of like much needed information, especially on like the Noah side.
Yeah, probably.
If she like
shows that side.
Yeah, like I'd actually rather have it like we don't see what Alan learned. We maybe have him dive like kind of like the Get Out thing where he kind of like falls into like a slumber.
Yeah.
And then he's like takes the backseat and Nia takes over. Alan's learning his shit. Off screen that the Noah are learning their shit. We're learning the Noah shit. And then Nia's kind of doing his things. And then when Alan has like the chance to like once he's actually finally learned everything, he reawakens and then he takes the spot again.
Yeah.
And then we learn like everything that he's learned like after all that. Kind of like to actually like break it up, you know?
No, I think that's too long.
What do you mean?
That kind of becomes the whole like
Well,
retelling his childhood type of thing again.
Well, no, because it'd be like you get the Noah flashback, which is totally different from his own flashback that we had.
Yeah.
And the Noahs like they're just so much. They're so intriguing, like who they are as a clan and like each person. I want to see like when they're with their mind open up. Like I want to learn all that shit.
Yeah.
So that's like a totally different. It is like a flashback thing, but it's
no. I mean, say if that happens, but then like we don't hear Alan's side, and then Alan comes back, and then he tells us his side.
But he tells us side later though. Like it's like we have that section of the Noah story as an arc.
Yeah.
Then we have the section of Nia moving the plot forward as an arc.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alan comes back when like the plot kind of like when we need him to come back, because until Alan comes back, it's two extremes. There's three extremes fighting each other.
Yeah.
Like you have the Black Order with Apocryphos, then you have Nia, and then you have the Noah clan, and they're all going to extremes. So like it's kind of like this. It's kind of like this tension. Like I'm imagining like something kind of like Marineford, and then you have like Shanks come and he just
nulls it all.
Just nulls it in that way where like Alan comes and he's like that guy to be like, yo, like I found the answer type of thing.
Yeah.
So like I can have it that way too.
Oh, maybe.
Like yeah, either that or it's a big ass flashback the other way I said it, where it's like Alan flashback ties in with the Noah's flashback.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking flashback. And you were saying like we just got out of a flashback.
Just got out of one.
Yeah, because like at least if we do like the Noah one, we have potential to see the war that happened 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
If they're like the way he's opening his mind is if he's opening their mind from like
all
fucking
memories.
dawn of time.
Yeah.
Like that's a shit. We could see some crazy action going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Full scale war. You got exorcists fighting like the Noah, like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just that final panel. I don't know if you have it. Do you have it pulled up?
No.
Okay, so the final panel here, like, or not the final one, but like you look at this, like look at the guy in the back with his like braid and stuff.
Yeah.
So then, if we go to the actual final panel here, and then we also have this right here, like you have Lavi and this guy here, the guy in the back again.
Yeah.
Like we're not seeing his face, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going. 1 second. It's literally like the final panel.
Yeah.
Where is it? Right here, where like he opens up and it's this guy right here.
Yeah.
What if that's Cross?
I was gonna say that actually.
Yeah, because that's where like I was
Cross
initially
is the
thinking.
protector of Alan. Cross protected Alan this whole time.
Because it seems like that's also, I think it's the same eye that Cross has a patch on.
Mm-hmm.
It's his right eye. We'll search up. We'll figure it out.
Cross might be the left, but
is he? No, it's the same one.
Oh, okay.
Right eye.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think that makes sense. But like Cross like remembers everything.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. No,
it seems like he has information that like other people don't have.
Yeah, but like where is he getting that information?
So was Cross being the protector? We're assuming Apocryphus is the one that remade Alan.
Yeah.
What if Cross did a spell or something to like to further protect Alan? Because you would assume like everyone from 35 years ago to the moment that Alan was born, people would have been looking for. Everyone's looking for people like Marion's age.
Yeah.
And then he turned him into a kid, so like hard to find him again.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is what like, and like also with like, because Cross is also like friends with Mana in a way too, right?
Yeah.
So then it could also been a way of having Mana care for Alan, his brother, like Nia, without having to like break his mind. Right?
Yeah.
And then Apocryphus came in afterwards when they're like in the circus and just fucking, you know, got rid of all that shit and just fucked him up. Like literally just like all that hard work. You know?
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say that like maybe the protector was actually Cross.
Yeah.
But then I also kind of like it'd become a thing. It was like, why doesn't Bookman know that like Cross was the guy? You know, like kind of comes down to like those things as well.
Well, because the Bookman, like you were saying, how like they record through their blood, right?
Yeah.
So like, if they weren't there to see it, they won't have that information. So like, if this is like a time where it's just like those two alone or something, like nobody's gonna have that information. And like who can even access that information? How are they accessing it? Like
yeah.
I don't think Lavi has access to that information yet. Like do you need to be the head chief bookman to get access to it?
To all of the information?
Yeah, because the way that it's recorded in their blood, it's like as long as one person in the clan is alive, they'll have access to the whole lineage.
You think it's a transfusion that needs to happen?
Not transfusion.
Hmm.
I think it's like weird in the way that it works, but it's like because it's recorded in their blood, even if like if you recorded this history and you died, because we share the same blood as a clan,
yeah, I
would still be able to access those memories. So I think that, and like having it so like they're all dispersed and everything, it's like it's highly unlikely that they'd all get wiped out. But I feel like whoever the actual bookman is, they're the ones who can actually access it and like fully like look through all of it. So like they need to like pass that bookman thing on to the next person.
Okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, I feel like I don't know, like that I'm really intrigued. I'm so happy we're getting bookman shit right now. Cuz like we've been so sidelined from like their story. Not sidelined, like we've been following the main story. Yeah. But like their story got sidelined like ever since they got trapped by the Noah.
Captured, yeah.
Like there's so much for them to learn and stuff. And if the Noah are able to tap into the bookman's blood and learn all that shit, like the true history,
yeah,
that's gonna be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. Which I don't think they would be able to.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. That's all I have for the year, man.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Before we get into this chapter, I actually just want to ask you, like, when you read last week's chapter, the ending panel where we saw the figure, essentially Gojo.
What did I think?
Yeah, what do you think? Who do you think it was? What do you think it was?
I thought it was Yuta.
100%? Like you 100%. Just like fully believe that it was Yuta.
So well, I told my brother, I was like, yo, there's 4 ways. I told multiple people actually. I was like, there's 4 ways this can actually pan out.
Yeah.
My first choice was like, I was like, yo, that's probably Yuta.
Yeah. Because
remember when Yuji first saw Yuta in the execution arc and he thought it was Gojo?
Yeah.
But then he was like, wait, no, like this aura is more menacing.
Yeah.
I was like, it's the same vibe. That's what I was thinking. So, cause like I was like, in my mind, I was like, there's no way AJ brings Gojo back. Like I was like from like a writing perspective, like we've
been saying
we like beat it to death, like where we've had this like.
But it was like one of those things. Like I felt like it, and I felt like we agreed that like the way that the fight was going, it like low key was moving that direction.
Well, no, because we had that conversation like when Gojo actually died, that like if he comes back, he's gonna come back without his 6 eyes to experience life.
Yeah,
like,
some nerf.
Like a nerf, right? Like a whole different version of him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that'd be a great way to like he's experiencing life on his own and stuff, right? So that's why I was like, if Gojo comes back, because like we're seeing that last panel is in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, Gojo not like if he's coming back, it's to tell us like his expertise or something. Like he's not about to be like up front and center again. Like that's at least something that I didn't want. Right. So then like that's why I was just like, yo, no, like that's got to be Yuta. Like that was like, yeah, first thing I believed in. That's my and like I'm mostly biased because like that's my guy. So that was like my favorite way of it going was like. I thought it was like a hallucination thing though, like the same with Yuji did. Yeah. Where Sukuna thought it was like Gojo, but it's actually Yuta, and we're about to see Yuta like pop off on some shit. Because what I thought was happening was Yuta was actually using Gojo's technique, like fucking Hollow Purple or some shit, and then because he felt that cursed energy, he thought it was Gojo. That's the way I thought it was. I didn't think it was what just happened. Yeah.
I thought it was more along the lines that like Sukuna's finally pushed. To where he was supposed to be pushed. He's in the brink. So you thought like Gojo death. Was like back? No, I just thought he was at the brink of death, and he just saw Gojo.
Yeah, okay. Like so out of the 4 options, like second one was the way that he had that conversation with Hajime and Yorozu about love and like whatever. Yeah, I thought he was having a flash, like he was thinking of Gojo then. Yeah, because Gojo was able to push him to a certain extent. Yeah, that was the second option, and I was like, I'm cool with that too. Like him having that realization and actually having like being fully like in the fight. Yeah. So I was like, that's cool as fuck. And the fourth option was also Gojo coming back, but I was like, no, I don't believe in that.
It's not that I didn't believe in that. I always go listen to the other podcast like the whole time, bro. I was saying I know. The way that this fight is fucking moving, the way that this plot is moving, the way that Sukuna is and how powerful he actually is. One of these fuckers has to come back. Yeah, I said it. One of
the people that like seemed like they died, like Yuta, Maki, like
Gojo,
like whoever. Like
because I said it in last pod.
I remember that.
I think last recorded pod where it was just me and Jacek. I said, "Yo, one of these or all of these guys are gonna come back. Yeah. It's gonna be Yuta. It's gonna be Gojo. They're gonna get healed. Something's gonna happen. They're gonna come back."
The thing is though, the way last chapter happened, like not the one that just came out, but the last the one that we are talking about. Yeah. Having Todo pull up. That conversation that we had with like having Maki, Yuta guys come back and all that stuff, I would like now that Todo pulled up, I was like, you know what, we're gonna have some like brotherly fucking, showdown. Yeah. Where I was just like, I think that they're at this stage like Yuji and Todo have leveled up enough where they can fight Sukuna and just that be the end of it. Well, and I was okay with that being the end of it. But like I fucking love the way this shit happened.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it.
Like the Todo and Yuji thing?
Oh no, that's fine. Like,
you're talking about what happened this chapter.
With Todo, cuz like the way that they like I guess reboosted Todo and like how they kept it away from Yuji, I thought that was like nice.
Yeah, that made sense.
It also made sense in the sense of like narratively like where the fuck has Todo been? It also makes sense kind of going back to like the chapter where Yuta killed Kenjaku and we saw that little like dinging. Mm-hmm. There's like a sound audio thing. Okay. And like people thought it was Todo's clapping, but it turned out the audio was actually different. Yeah. And it was like a more of like a ringing or whatever.
I remember that. I remember when that chapter came out, people thought like Todo did it.
But now I guess it confirmed that it actually was Todo because the same like they sound was the exact same one that Todo used.
Which is awesome. Like it's nice to like he's been there. He's been there doing things. Without us.
He learned how to like change the activation of his like curse technique. Yeah. And like now it's like 50 times a second or something.
Fucking crazy.
Which is insane. And like he also expanded his like field that he can teleport or whatever.
Because now it's so tied into like that metal thing that he has on his hand.
Yeah, and the narration also confirmed that successfully Todo was able to get everybody out of Sukuna's domain
when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes that's cool. Like,
yeah.
I kind of don't like that explanation. Kind of hurts a little bit, but it's like, okay, word, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I feel like Gage has done that where he kind of explains things from before afterwards a lot, like especially recently.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of like used to it now, and I think it's been done a lot better like in the last couple of chapters than it has like before that.
That's because the main character was involved.
Yeah.
But going back to me saying
The Yuta stuff.
yeah, because I didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it because I've been sitting here kind of with the expectations that a form or the form of Gojo was going to come back.
Okay.
The way that we were given Gojo coming back was
Yeah.
Yuta making the sacrifice of saying, fuck it,
Dude.
if we're not just going to make Gojo be the
love
monster, I will also like put it on myself to become a monster.
I love this chapter.
And
holy fuck.
Kind of going into like this whole aspect of becoming the monster, the people that have been able to actually stand toe to toe with Sukuna have become monsters. I would argue that like Hajime, him activating his technique was him becoming a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue, you know, of course Gojo, we already know that he was a monster. I'd argue now Yuta's a monster. I would also argue Yuji is a monster based off of like what he ended up having to do to become what he is now. Swallowing all of his brothers,
like perverting their ideals, or something in a way.
Yeah, he swallowed because like he had a line when they were planning. He's like, "I'll do whatever the fuck I have to do. I'll swallow whatever the fuck I have to swallow to make sure I beat Sukuna." So like he essentially had the same realization as Yuta, but Yuta had it at obviously a more extreme degree.
Like I feel like this chapter just painted such a beautiful like image of Yuta's character.
Yeah,
like I fucking love the way he like. Because like, he respects and loves Gojo so much, and he even talks about how like everyone just saw him as a weapon, and like nobody saw him as a person. And like, I think I sent you the tweet. Like somebody like had it worded so beautifully about like even like they're taking it to the point where even like somebody who like idolized Gojo still ended up having to use his body as a weapon.
Yeah.
And like,
but that's the sad part, right?
And him being able, and him like throwing like Yuta doesn't even know if he's gonna survive this.
Yeah.
He has 5 minutes, and he's probably gonna like. Odds are he's gonna die.
I would hope that the writing leads to him dying. I just personally, we don't need Yuta in a Gojo body.
No, that's true. No, that's true. I was thinking that like he might be able to hop back into his other body. Because if they heal his body in time, like within the 5 minutes,
I guess, and
he's able to hop back into his body,
that means that he has to do whatever he has to do within 5 minutes. Get the fuck up out of there.
Like 5 minutes,
it's a lot in a fight. It's always a lot.
5 minutes JJK time is crazy.
Going on to your point of like the whole Yuta character thing, I feel like this also kind of goes into like this whole factor of Gojo as a character.
Yeah,
because this nails home the fact that like. After Ghetto left, it really broke him to the point where he doesn't even know who the fuck he is. Like that question that was posed to him, are you the strongest because you're Gojo Satoru, or are you Gojo Satoru because you're the strongest? Which he took it that he is the strongest.
Yeah.
And that's how he's lived.
Yeah.
Kind of him saying, I don't care what you do with my body after I die.
Yeah. It's also kind of, but it's also crazy because like Gojo actually thought he would win against Sukuna. Like it wasn't like, this wasn't like all a part of his plan, like him dying and like whatever comes next. He fully thought like he was strong enough to take on Sukuna and like handle it off.
Fair enough.
And I'm like, and that's like, and because like we had that conversation of like, like Gojo was willing to give up his life to like see it through. But like he never thought he actually was gonna die.
Yeah.
And that's very Gojo because he's fucking so like what is it, arrogant or some shit? Like he just his ego, I guess.
Yeah, because he sees himself as genuinely the strongest. Yeah, which is fair.
So like. I really like the twist that they did here because like this in terms of like the ass pulls and shit, this is not an ass pull.
No, it's not an ass pull. It's the one character that can genuinely copy techniques, and we see him do it against his
like
people he's opposing. He's done it before, so it's not that crazy to think that like he would have copied Kenjaku's technique.
Exactly, and it's a 3-way deadlock. Like in that 3-way deadlock that happened before.
Yeah,
he takes that Sky Girl's
arm.
And like I guess feeds it to Rika or whatever, and then gets the power. So it's like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
we saw it happen so recently. Why wouldn't he?
It's not an ass pull. Yeah, it's more so that people don't like the idea that Gojo's coming back,
defiling his body, I guess, whatever.
And like also like, but like I feel like this whole time, if you were thinking about who Gojo is and what his character actually means, it's like going back to like the question that Geto pulled on him.
Yeah.
And the fact that like after Geto left, it really twisted his mind to like just really believe that he is the strongest.
Yeah. And like we had
didn't see himself as a human being otherwise.
We had that conversation also, like you know, like when Geto like when Kenjaku was in Geto's body and Geto's hand fucking like goes to his throat.
Yeah.
Of like what that happened with Gojo and Yuta, and like it's kind of to show like how different their characters are. I don't think it like what happened, because like Gojo made his peace. Like after he's dead, and he's like, I don't care what you do with my body.
Yeah.
And like with Yuta being in his body, it's also like he's not gonna be like, this guy's in my body without my permission.
Yeah.
Whereas Geto's like, this motherfucker stole my body.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah, it could be a thing though, like where he has his moment because he's
at the end, right?
Yeah, where like he kind of like has his last laugh.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking about, like the way Toji came back.
Yeah,
and then
he kind of had his last laugh, and like
so
was
like,
able to meet Megumi and like whatever.
Yeah, so you get that little bit of like just a conversation between like Gojo and like Yuji or someone.
Maybe, yeah.
And just give not like last laugh, because like Toji's a totally different type of person, but like, you know how like that closed out Toji's character when he saw Megumi, and he's like,
but like that's like a last laugh. I mean,
and he's kind of like, yo, like Fushiguro, right? And he's like, yo,
exactly.
Like,
he had his last laugh.
Not like that's not a last laugh. That's like a like respect, you know? Like, so it's like, so Gojo's kind of gonna have that last like closing moment with his kids and shit, because he just went out and died without having that closure.
Then like Leak Nights, when I was talking about kind of what happened, and I was saying like, I think in terms of like shock value and how like messed up this has become, like I think it's like a good move, considering that like the whole time I was expecting, or we were expecting a return of Gojo in some sort of method, and if this is the method, like fine, like I'll take it. If this is the one that we're gonna get, if Gojo was ever gonna come back, like
I actually really like
this is like one of like the few that I would be okay with. The other one would have been like, for example, like the
no
love
powers.
thing.
Love thing work.
There's
literally the 3 different ways I was happy with,
and also like knowing that like potentially after these 5 minutes, which I think after these 5 minutes they should go with the move that like Yuta dies. It makes it seem okay, but it also kind of comes down to this thing. This is where I was like stuck at. The idea of bringing Gojo back is like, you're gonna have Yuta in Gojo's body fight Sukuna now for what, to essentially slow him down more?
What do you mean slow him down more? Would he not beat him?
So we're thinking that Yuta in Gojo's body is like the end. Like this is him beating Sukuna.
You put Yuta in Gojo's body, he's a fucking menace.
Yeah, so you're saying your thought process is this is where Sukuna dies.
With Yuji and Todo, like all 3 of these guys, I think they take Sukuna now.
Okay.
Because you have Yuta at the same cursed energy output, maybe a little bit less, because he obviously used his cursed energy from before, but like Sukuna's at that level of where Yuta's at.
Yeah.
So like I'm assuming that they're somewhat similar in terms of cursed energy output.
Yeah.
And you gave him Gojo's body, and he can use not only Gojo's techniques but also his own techniques. This is fucking insane. This is actually a monster. Like this is like this is literally what Sukuna, like Sukuna's gonna feel what it feels like to fight Sukuna. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Yuta can use all of his techniques now. I think he's stuck to.
We'll see. Like because they said Six Eyes was a physical thing, so he can't copy Six Eyes.
Yeah.
So that means like he's gonna be able to apply Six Eyes to his own techniques.
But his own technique is a copy technique, which currently he's using.
But with Rika and like whatever he copies.
But he's using.
Is he limited to just copy, like into that one copy, or can he do multiple copies?
I don't think we've seen him do multiple.
Because I thought remember when he used Inumaki's voice thing?
Yeah.
But he also had. Did he not also have like Rika and like whatever? Like was he not also doing his own thing?
I can't recall.
Okay, if he can do more than like multiple copies at once, then he's fucking going like 0 to 100 because he's using like his Six Eyes efficiency, and he's able to pull it out all of his fucking copied techniques.
Yeah,
and like they talked about it in the chapter how they were like, if Yuta's technique is ongoing for 5 minutes, the scenario where he dies, then like maybe he won't be able to use the copy.
Yeah.
But if it's the scenario where his copy is a one-time thing, he used it, and now that he's in the body, he's just stuck in the body, he'll have free reign to use his copy technique. And like we can still have Yuta like die in Gojo's body because that's already so like subverted and shit. Like you don't want to, like you wouldn't want him to just be living in Gojo's body.
Yeah.
You can still have Yuta die just from like purely just fighting, going back, like going at it with Sukuna and shit. Have him die, whatever. But if and that still opens him up to like use his other copy techniques. And even then, like even if you don't want him to use his copy techniques, like just having Gojo's techniques, now that Sukuna doesn't have Maharoga or anything, we're gonna see like I feel like we're gonna see like how Gojo really like shows up against Sukuna. Like you know how there's that conversation of like High and Era Sukuna versus Gojo.
Yeah.
I think we're about to see that now, like of how like Gojo would have actually won had Sukuna not had Maharoga.
Maybe.
So like I'm maybe it'll be a tie. Like who knows, right?
I was just thinking like, in my mind, the way I saw currently the way that the fight is going, etc., the way I saw it was Yuji would be the one to like fully beat Sukuna.
Sure. Okay.
Like essentially the way that like I would have wanted this whole situation to go down was actually Gojo returning being a pump fake in the sense of
the love thing, like
love
it's
thing,
hallucination thing.
And then
And that would have been great for like Sukuna's character.
Yeah, and like Yuji's actually just like finally tapping Sukuna out. Like this is it. Like Sukuna and Yuji they're reaching that climax. But like it also comes down to this thing that Jacek said last podcast was we actually haven't gotten a final announcement.
Oh yeah, no chapter, no final arc, none of that.
Nothing.
Shit.
Like we haven't got that. So it's like where we're at right now in the manga.
Like why don't we have it?
Why don't we have it?
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, yeah, okay, if like this ending fight with Sukuna is actually this 3v1 where it's Todo, Yuji, Yuta versus Sukuna, and that's how it ends, okay, fine. Like maybe Sukuna dies, Yuta dies at the same time type of scenario, or Sukuna dies, Yuta dies slightly after.
You could have continue.
My whole thing is if Yuta's there to just kind of
whittle him down,
slow him down again.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just have Gojo do it
the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that could be like an issue of like the like mangaka having a hard time like finishing it and wanting to keep the hype up and everything. Yeah. But what I'm thinking is more lines where I'm saying Gojo is gonna be, we're gonna see how Sukuna fights Gojo from like, and Gojo's actually gonna be beating him. If we have that context of like Yuta's actually just dogging him, like we have the back and forth, but we see that Yuta's actually just like winning out. Then the 5 minutes happen. Yuta dies. Now we still have Yuji for cleanup, and Yuji actually beats him.
But
so it's still not like it's not a slowing down thing. It's like
it is though.
No, because
like Sukuna in a state where Yuji could beat him.
No, because it's giving. I'm saying like it's not just a slowing down thing. Not only did we just see more of Yuta's character, that we're seeing like an actual answer to the Sukuna versus Gojo, right? Because before the thing was,
but we don't need it.
What do you? I mean, the fans though, right?
Maybe like the fucking bot fans, the ones that are sitting there arguing still on Twitter about who's stronger and who's not.
Yeah, so but like it's showing you like, okay, like, you know, because how much recontextualization have we had of the Gojo versus Sukuna fight recently, where like with the open, where we found out that like, oh, Sukuna wasn't in a spot to even use open because Gojo never gave him that like window
opportunity. Yeah.
So it's like, why is like the fact that like Gage is still like writing that shit in is clearly because like, you know, the way Gojo died like didn't sit well with like a lot of people, right? Especially with like
but
the
then
way.
Why do it?
Yeah, but again, like
you're saying that this is a cleanup act from
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
the mangaka.
Yeah. So like, because even like the way his body got cut off and he got off screen and stuff, like people are like, yo, like, I personally didn't mind it. I fucking like the way he did this shit.
At the end of the day, it was fine as long as what came after was done properly.
Yeah.
Which is like
that's like the bulk of the issue is the way Hajime, Hikari, and those guys were fighting Sukuna afterwards.
Yeah.
But then even then he explains it how like Gojo fucked up his like brain so hard that he can't use domains or any of this shit. Yeah. But then like he's still fucking top tier like speed wise and everything. Like how is he still not dogging these guys? Right? And that's like a different issue. But like I feel like just like you have Yuta just like fucking him up, and like we had Yuta like kind of throw away some humanity. Like I feel like this chapter just did so much for JJK. Like the way I felt about like Toto coming back brought the energy back for
Mhm.
like the way I was feeling like after this like fucking raid boss that they were doing. But then like having Yuta come back and having like just like the way they were talking about all this, like I just feel like it gave us like so much more.
I feel like Yuji's the one that brought the energy back. Toto coming
Sure.
back, I felt.
Well,
I feel like fell.
I feel like
flat.
it's all three.
It fell flat because of how instantaneous this is.
Okay.
Toto didn't even get a chapter.
Yeah.
Same chapter. Toto's doing a shit. Yuta comes
Yeah,
back.
Yuta pulls up at. I mean, you see Gojo at the end.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's just one chapter. Yuji was the one that was like taking the hype with all
Yeah,
the black
yeah, yeah.
flashes.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Like they should have given one more chapter to Toto,
Yeah, probably.
and that would have been okay. Yeah, but even then, like I like the whole explanation of like this is a last resort, because like kind of like why didn't they use Gojo earlier? Like Yuta just came back and just like I like that Gojo like Yuta was still surviving. Like he was bleeding out, but he was still surviving. And then that panel of like where he's saying like sorry to Rika, because he puts the ring on his right hand.
Yeah.
Like people are talking about how like that's seen as like not like a diss, but like it's kind of like you revoke your marriage when you take your wedding ring from your left hand and you put it on your right one. So he's kind of saying sorry, like because he lost his arm, right? So he had to put it on his right arm.
Yeah.
So then I was like that's actually like it was like little cool things like that, like Gage just putting him back in, because I feel like we've gone like a long while without like those like subliminal messages from Gage, because he used to have like like random stuff like leading into like mythology or Buddhism or like Indian gods and like whatever. And like we'd always have like those like cliff notes at the end and stuff. So like I like that he's still going back into it and doing that, and it's not just like let's just fight this guy.
Yeah, but I don't think it's saved.
It's not saved.
JK. Like,
Oh, I don't. Oh no, yeah.
like,
I mean, whatever that fight happened with like Hajime and Hakari guys, whatever happened there is like everyone can say that like there was an issue with like the writing in that phase. But I feel like
Hakari's fucking stuck fighting Urame, bro.
yeah,
For how long?
yeah, and so like the issue that's happening with that issue is still there for sure. But I feel like I don't have any issues with this like the past like few chapters ever since it's been like Yuji versus Sukuna.
Yeah, no, I have no problem
Those
since it
have
like
been-
swapped to Yuji.
Yeah.
I have a problem with what I
Came-
thought was inevitable,
Yeah.
but the way that they did it, obviously, it's sitting a little bit better.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Why?
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary to bring Gojo back. In any
Depending on
capacity.
how it ends.
In any
Depending on how it ends.
I guess depending on how it ends, but personally,
because you're saying like if they
personally for my satisfaction,
yeah.
I would have preferred Yuji continue the fight and
Okay.
continue to grow and continue to awaken as he
Mhm.
was.
Yeah.
And that's
Hit-
what
and
ultimately leads
Have
Sukuna
him
to a
hit
downfall.
domain.
Yeah, something, right?
Yeah.
Versus having Yuta come back and it either going one or two ways where he is
Yeah.
essentially helping the factor leading to Sukuna's demise
Mm.
or slows him down to the point where Yuji can take over
Yeah.
again, and it's just like, why didn't we just have Gojo do that anyways?
That's true. Like considering like the distaste of like that raid boss moment that happened.
Yeah.
I can understand like where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, for that. I completely get that. But I'm kind of biased being a Yuta fan.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm so happy that he's back and like being able to see all this go down.
Yeah.
So like I'm like yo, I'm eating either way. Like it's just like I'm like yo, this is fucking sick. And like to be honest, it's like the way like to say like Yuji and Toto are enough to beat Sukuna. Like you're always gonna have that issue either way, because now you're kind of like, oh, they had this raid boss moment. Like hopefully Sukuna's at this level now where Yuji and Toto can just handle him.
Yeah.
But like you could also see it like bro didn't use open this whole time. He's finally using open now. Like did they really do anything to him? So like when you actually look at like how much they have done to Sukuna, they haven't done shit really.
But had it been
like,
written in a different way, I would argue that him using open was a trump card.
yeah.
They pushed Sukuna to the point where he had to use open.
Yeah. Like,
I could argue it that way, right?
But the way they explained the way open works with like the furnace and everything,
Yeah.
like it just obviously like it didn't go that way. So
Well, no. I still think you can sit there and consider it like a sort of a trump card. Because if these guys ain't strong enough, if Sukuna is really just that much strong, he does not need to use open.
yeah, but he used open on Jogo.
Yeah, but that was also just like for fun. Let me show you some shit. He
Was
literally
it
said
though?
his dialogue was essentially that. Like, you guys don't actually know true curse energy. Let me show you.
Yeah, but like I mean, the limits to open make perfect sense because like had they not had those limits to open.
No, I'm okay with the limits to
Yeah.
open, and I'm okay with the fact that Gojo made it the fight in a way where Sukuna genuinely just couldn't use it because Gojo was making the fight so oddly complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking fine with that. That
Yeah.
to me, like, especially knowing that this is after the fact, where like, you know, you're sitting there. Why didn't Sukuna use open against Gojo? Why did, like, you know, like how people were saying that? Like, why
Yeah.
the fuck wasn't he using that shit?
Yeah.
It's not that
It
he
explained
didn't
all
want
that.
to.
Yeah.
It's just
He
that he couldn't.
Yeah.
But like versus
But
Yuji guys,
well, even
I
before-
would then beg the question: if they're really not that strong, why do you have to use it?
Yeah. But yeah, that's true. He was dogging him. The black flashes were dogging him.
That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
Yeah. But like yeah. Also with like Toto being able to like do like 50 times per second or some shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Like
insane.
even for like Sukuna, it's like the speed that this shit's happening at is fucking cracked.
Yeah. He said it's impossible to like anticipate. So
Yeah,
it-
and I kind of I like that like even Sukuna's having a hard time dealing with Toto's ability because it's like how do you really like
we saw this motherfucker
battle
super
something like
kick
that.
a fucking crow.
like like the way like because like Toto did it one time and it didn't actually activate and he's like wait they didn't switch and he's like yeah like I like that Toto is able to do that with like regardless of whoever the fuck he's fighting
Mhm.
and it fucks with everyone all the same like
Yeah.
as much as Sukuna's like a transcendent being like above all these guys experience all that shit it's still fucking him
Yeah.
like that like it just speaks so much to like Toto's ability.
Exactly. But then like that would also kind of go into like this whole thing of like maybe an evolving Yuji would have been enough, especially with
Maybe.
Toto's support.
But like I feel like the way you had it thought of like Yuji continually like growing and stuff, I feel like that's more of a such a basic shonen thing.
Yeah.
That like I'm glad that Geiji didn't do that. Cause like we already had this moment of his black flashes gave him enough energy to do dismantle
Yeah.
and cleave or like whatever. Like
Yeah.
he was already able to tap into Sukuna's abilities.
Technique, yeah.
If you're gonna like keep having him grow and then do a domain and stuff, that just follows like very basic
But it doesn't
anime
have to be
trope.
really a domain. It could just be continually fighting
But
Sukuna. Like
but
we're talking about a Yuji that I would argue is special grade now.
Yeah, special grade. But like, what other techniques besides Sukuna's techniques can he really pull out? Because that's kind of what they explained was like
yeah.
the techniques he has are like the techniques that he got from
Yeah.
these guys, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't think he would actually be able to tap into a domain, and if he did, it would just be Malevolent Shrine again. So
fair
then,
enough.
like, and at that point,
Maybe a blood domain. We don't know. We don't know
and,
what that
and
would
we,
look
and,
like.
and we saw at the end of the newest chapter that like
yeah.
Sukuna hits his domain again.
Yeah.
So like, if it did reach that point where Yuji would do a domain,
Mm-hmm.
Sukuna's still gonna dog him.
We
Like,
don't know.
And again, like what
yeah.
if Geiji had wrote it so that like Yuji's domain is the perfect counter to Sukuna's,
Yeah.
that's kind of just like that's like that's a cop out ass pull type of thing too.
Yeah, I guess.
So like I'm actually kind of happy like when you like thinking about that in retrospect.
But that's
it's,
going
like,
into like thinking that like what we know now, like he has
Yeah.
like he can tap into his domain, but like he just had tapped into his domain, so technically it
but I'm
he
saying
shouldn't
like
have.
if we keep the like I'm saying like if we keep the writing the same, we don't include Yuta, and it's
Yeah.
the way you're saying it's gonna go down. Sukuna would tap into his domain as well, right? So then like it's kind of like that issue of like
But that's because of the way that this was written now. You could
yeah
just
like,
alter your writing style.
but to be honest, like that whole time of like
I'm saying alter his writing style all the way from fucking when Gojo got beat,
yeah
leading to a factor where Yuji beats him.
yes but I'm saying like because like Yuji like they had it set up to a point where like now Yuji and Toto can just fight him.
Yeah.
They like you're saying like they didn't need Gojo or Yuta to come.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm saying like from the beginning when they were saying that like oh like his brain got damaged and he can't do his domain,
Yeah.
I always felt like the reason why they were saying that was because there's gonna be a point where Sukuna will hit his domain because there's gonna be a point
Yeah, but we
where his
saw
brain
his
will be
last
and he hit his domain earlier.
incomplete.
Yeah. So then like hitting it now
He could barely keep it up for
So
seconds.
so it might be complete now though.
How? He just popped one.
Well,
That means that he would have had to figure out his reverse curse technique, immediately just heal his brain, which the black flashes were tapping him out of.
the black flashes were fucking him. They were fucking him. I don't know. Like I feel like I don't think like Yuji would have been able to just like that would have been nice. It would have been like a cool quick ending because we've been fighting him for so long. But like now looking at it with like Yuta coming in the picture, I kind of like the way that he did it differently. Like not very like a shock value thing, because let's say Yuta had even like used Kenjaku's ability to like take Maki's body, or like anyone else, like just having like them use Kenjaku's ability for like that was such a cool like way to do it.
Shock value, yeah. Let me ask you a question. Chapter now, 2 chapters, 3 chapters, however long this fight goes that Yuta's involved in. 5 minutes go by and all Yuta was able to achieve was slowing Sukuna down again. How do you take that?
I mean, that's the thing. Like you're that's like you're boiling it down to like just the basics of like he just slows him down. I'm more so looking at it like I want to see what this interaction like brings out. Like, what does it bring out of Sukuna's character? What does it bring out of Yuta's character? And like because that's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, but then it's like one of those things. Just had Gojo do it.
But I mean like. Maybe, sure.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
yeah, but that's like the thing is like that whole raid boss moment that happened. Like we can't like go back and like we'd go back and fix that if we could.
No, fuck it. Have Gojo literally come back.
No, why?
Exactly. You have Gojo's stuff coming out of Gojo's character. You have stuff coming out of Sukuna's character. We're not boiling it down, bro.
That's not the same though.
It kind of is.
No, because like this is like
because if we're going along the lines that like at the end of the day, all that happened was Yuta slowing Sukuna down, but then you're looking at it, what came out of Sukuna's character, what came out of Gojo's character? Why can't we just do the same thing, the opposite? But what came out of Sukuna's character?
The difference is like what happened this chapter, the way they talked about like how everyone treats Gojo as a monster, and like Yuta having that understanding of Gojo that like nobody else really had, besides maybe I think Maki understood, but like having like nobody else had that understanding. Like even like the fans are like, fucking there's like a Gojo's so fucking hot, like whatever, like he's strong. It's like the way everyone's treating his character. Yeah, we actually like it. I feel like that added that layer to it, where like if you just had Gojo come back, like you would never have gotten that of like, yo, these guys really just treated him like a monster. We never would have had that.
But we kind of had it the whole time in front of us.
But nobody caught on, nobody saw it, nobody said anything. Like that's what I'm saying is like is like having Yuta like explain that. And like have us understand that is like, oh shit.
But like as readers, we should have understood it.
But nobody did.
I understood it.
I don't know. I never heard you say that.
What? That like pod? That the Gojo's character is the whole crux of his character is that like he is the strongest.
No, the strongest is one thing.
The strongest is a monster.
No. But that's not like him.
You live separate from everything.
Yeah. So like, but like
you're the monster. You're an outcast.
Saying he's the strongest, yeah. But then like you had Sukuna win, and then like he's not the strongest really, and then like whatever.
But he's still the outcast. He's still the monster. Throughout his whole life, he's lived as an outcast. He's lived as the monster. Nobody wanted to interact with him. They always treated him. Motherfucker wasn't even raised by his own parents. He was raised by like random fucking people, part of the Gojo clan.
Like when Toji's like out there sniping him and shit, and he has people like walking around him, and he's like noticing people. Like, I get that, but I'm saying like nobody in the verse understood that. Like nobody in JJK
but as readers,
that.
We understood it.
Yeah, so like, but it's nice to have like it's just like the way it doubles down is like you have Yuta understand it, and even knowing that he understands it, he's still willing to like, you know, do like, and he's doing that to himself. Like I really like the way it took Yuta's character personally.
For Yuta's character, sure, it did a lot, but I don't think it did anything for Gojo's character.
But now when we're gonna have him fight like Sukuna, we can have it where like Sukuna's gonna realize. We can still have that like love moment thing that we're talking about, because like even though it's Yuta in Gojo's body, it's just a matter of having Sukuna experience that, right? Like it doesn't really matter like if it's Sukuna experiencing it with Gojo or Yuta. Like it doesn't really matter who it is. It's just a matter of having Sukuna experience that and bringing him down to like human levels, right? And that because he's like, you know, the way Urami is fucking gassing him up and all that shit. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it could have been done the other way as well.
Well, no, because if you just had Gojo come back, it's like why was he even gone?
He got bested.
No, but like, but that's what I mean. Like he got cut in half. Like, it'd be a bigger ass pull if he just came back. Like that's an actual ass pull. If he just came back, like bro got cut in half and they just like
I
sewed
don't
him
know.
up and he's good.
I don't know. Yuta was just surviving because Rika was keeping him alive. That's
But we
kind
saw
of an
that,
ass
though.
pull.
No, but we saw that Rico's carrying him away. Like,
Yeah,
when
like he said, I'm only able to keep consciousness because of Rika. He doesn't explain how.
okay, yeah, but like
Same
he knows
thing.
RCT though to like,
yeah, but
he's
they
bleeding
literally
out though.
they literally state that Yuta's
At the
RCT
end-
wasn't
yeah,
enough.
But at the end of the day, like Utah's just bleeding out. It takes a few minutes to bleed out, and especially in JJK time, a few minutes is a long thing.
He was cut in half, bro.
Yeah, but he's bleeding out. Like his heart's still pumping.
So you're telling me if you get cut in half, you're just gonna sit there bleeding out? You're not unconscious, dead, essentially.
I'm not a Utah big body, bro.
Oh, chill,
I'm not-
bro. It's
like-
just because this is Utah that you're so hyped up about it.
No. But like he had Rika carrying him.
Okay, how does that keep
So-
him awake?
So like, no, but like
He needs to be awake to run his copy
but what I'm
technique.
saying is, like-
And Rika's the only one
no,
that
like,
kept.
if you're
was able
bleeding
to keep
out,
him
you're
awake.
kind of like you don't immediately just die. The blood. As
Okay,
you're
so
getting-
if we go with the whole thought process of what we saw, Gojo passed out / died immediately on the spot. He cracked one smile and he was out.
yeah, you off screen, bro.
No, we saw him like crack one smile before he was out.
Yeah, but it moved on from him. Like he was smiling.
It
or
went
whatever.
into his death, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
whatever
So
was going on.
they showed that death sequence
So
while he's
Yuta-
bleeding out. That death sequence is what's happening while he's bleeding out, because that's like while he's dying. It's like that's what's happening.
So
you know how, like, your brain,
but
like-
Yuta had none of that.
Because he didn't die.
Why?
Because he was bleeding out. He was able to while he's bleeding
How
out.
long was Gojo sitting there bleeding out?
I don't know. That's
I feel like
that's
that
not
was
up-
pretty instantaneous.
not
We
up-
saw we saw his lower half of his body still standing.
yeah, but
That seems
what
pretty
I'm saying is like,
instantaneous.
well, in terms of like from the writing perspective, it's up to him of like, because he was ready to like like Gojo's dead. It's like, okay, like we're just gonna like, why would you just sit there and wait like a couple more minutes to have him bleed out, talk for a bit, and then do it? Like it's still the same thing. He's just moving the plot forward.
No,
Right.
Yuta's literally saying I'm able to keep consciousness because of Rika, not because I'm just waiting to bleed out and die.
What I'm saying is like regularly you have somebody bleeding out, it takes time for them to actually die. They don't just die instantly, right? So it's like that same concept. Like, yeah, he's staying awake. We don't actually know this time frame of like Utah got cut and he's in Gojo's body. We don't have a time frame. We don't know how long that was. That could have all happened within the time that he's bleeding out.
But then that comes down to the factor: how long has Yuji been fighting?
Yeah, I have no idea. And the fact that they're all moving instantaneously, like these fights
I don't
happen,
know.
like we can't really concretely say like what's happening with that.
No, I would say Yuji's been fighting him for a second. I wouldn't say this is just like minutes, in the sense like it's only been 5 minutes that Yuji's been fighting him.
Maybe. Think about how fast they're moving now.
Yeah,
You know, like the speed at which they're fighting now is crazy. Like they could be, even if they're not like fucking, like destructive output's not like higher than like city size or some shit.
yeah,
Their speed
they're moving
feats,
fast.
Their
The
speed feats
are
huge.
great. Yeah.
So that's why like, I couldn't say how long. But even it has to be a matter of minutes though.
But then it becomes remember when people were watching like Gojo and Sukuna fight?
Gojo and Sukuna. Jogo?
Gojo and Sukuna?
They're watching
When
What, at the
everybody was
beginning?
watching? Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah, that means that everybody's on par to watch, like, to see people moving at their speed.
Yeah.
You know how, like, Dragon Ball, like...
Yeah, I guess. But that's kind of weird. Because even, like, Bulma be, like, seeing Goku guys, like, move and shit at times. And Bulma ain't fucking built like that.
But then, like, I get, like, what? If they're moving at the speed of light, that means that, like, everybody's eyes can follow the speed of light.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because we know Gojo's movements are instantaneous.
Yeah.
So then if Sukuna's fighting that's insane how fast that is.
Exactly. So how are people following this fight?
They're all at that speed. They're all special.
That's crazy.
What do you mean?
Who? Panda?
Okay, no, but their fight's being broadcasted though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's whatever is broadcasting it. If that can catch it.
The crows.
Yeah.
That means that the crows can pick it up.
Yeah.
That means everything.
Yeah.
Which is insane, I would say.
Sure, but that's the writing that's been given. Like I don't know what to tell you.
I'm telling you, it's not great.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not. Like,
that's my whole point
Yeah.
right now. Is that it's not great.
That's what like but we can't do anything about that. Like,
No, I know.
but knowing that these guys are all at that, like, for them to even be able to fight Sukuna, like at that speed, like with Hajime and Hikari, Yuji and Higi and all that shit, for them to even
Bro,
be like,
Hikari has not fought Sukuna.
No,
That's part of the problem.
but I mean like having them in that, like Maki, like having them in that realm of being able to like fight with Sukuna even like somewhat like at that speed,
yeah.
their feats are pretty like up there.
Yeah, but then there was like other people who you could say like Kusakabe's not a special grade yet he's able to follow. He was able to tell
Yeah.
exactly when the activations, everything, like
Yeah, but
he was doing shit that like even Gojo wasn't doing.
You could say that the special grade aspect is more about like their techs, not like really like what they're physically capable of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so like the special grade designation isn't necessarily like, because the designation was like one special grade can take out a country or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of where the designation really comes from.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with like speed feat.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like there's like characters that you probably wouldn't have thought
Would be able to keep up.
are keeping up. Like
Yeah.
how, remember I had this whole problem, like why is Sukuna just not instantly
why isn't he just
killing
dogging
some of
them?
these people?
Yeah.
Like,
That's true. I think that's the issue on like not like building up those characters to a point where
yeah.
you're like, I can see them actually be like on par with like a weakened Sukuna from Gojo.
Yeah.
And like it's also because like he didn't write it in a way where like Sukuna was, you know, cut down enough.
Yeah, I still like. I'm still gonna double down, triple down, quadruple down on this. If this fight leads to a thing where it was, well, we just slowed Sukuna down a little bit more,
Yeah.
or more enough.
If it's like a we just keep slowing him down.
Yeah,
It's like, how long is this fight gonna take?
exactly.
Because it's kind of like not. I'm not gonna say it's My Hero levels, but it's like, you know, you keep fighting, like even like Demon Slayer, like you just keep fighting this end boss.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we're fucking done.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like that,
Yeah.
right? So like I can understand like that aspect of it just being mentally like tapped from this fight. It's just a matter of like, for me it's like what comes from this fight. Like I want to see the type, like the dialogue, the conversations that are happening, the interactions. Like I'm excited to see a Yuta in a Gojo body versus a Sukuna. Like,
You're just excited to see Yuta.
I am, but like, what you want me to do? Like, just fucking happy, man.
Yeah, but not done well. I don't. It just becomes one of those things. If you're looking for Sukuna interactions and like his dialogue, then like
Yeah.
you should have just done it when Gojo
Earlier.
was actually fighting him.
Yeah, I just feel like there was that issue of in between with the raid boss moments.
Yeah.
That's what really, like, if you cut that out, you fix that a little bit, this would be received a little bit better, because that was just like that was just too long for them, and also like that should have been like Sukuna just 2 seconds dogs them.
Yeah, no,
You have Maki and Yuta actually properly fight Sukuna.
Yeah.
And like, cause like whatever they were forcing Sukuna to use or not use, like with Jacob's ladder and whatever, like you could have actually had that shit happen later.
Mhm.
Like you could have had just Yuta and Maki fight Sukuna first.
Mm-hmm.
Yuta's bleeding out, goes into Gojo's body. Then the Gojo Yuji and Todo fight happens right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they bring Higi with Jacob's ladder at the end, because their whole point of being able to do Jacob's ladder and force the cursed object out, all that shit, was, you know, save Megami, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do that at the end. Like if you just change the way the sequences happen and you move it, then it works. But the issue is that you had Yuta fight Kenjaku while they were trying to keep Sukuna at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, I feel like if we had just moved the sections around, like people would have been okay with it.
I feel like people would have just had a problem with Gojo coming back regardless. If you like, you know.
Maybe. It's really about how you do it, right? Like I would have been really happy about having Gojo come back without any powers and just have him as a normal human,
Yeah.
just to see how he like sees everything differently now, and being so powerless, because he's never been in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, like maybe when like Toji was about to kill him, like maybe he had a little bit of fear there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
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 I think that's all we got.
Yeah. The end of our pod right
That's
here.
all we got. Go in our comments. Let us know what you guys thought about the chapters. If you guys are caught up with Kagurabachi, what you guys think. What you guys thought about this Jujutsu Kaisen chapter, since it was, I feel like, pretty controversial. From what
Yeah.
I'm seeing online, it's pretty controversial.
Yeah, there's been a lot of conversations back and forth.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think about that.
If you're not reading D.Gray Man, read D.Gray Man. That shit's crazy.
disclaimer, it comes out every 4 months, so if you don't want to wait
Chill.
that long, what,
hell no.
hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, go in our description. We have our TikTok and our Twitter, Instagram coming never. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Yes.